Welcome to the PPVG Gamescast. My name is Steve.
Rich.
Mo.
And we are the passionate playing video gamers. And this is our special E3 reactions episode. We will give you our reactions to each of the press conferences that happened for the last 4 days for E3, starting with the first press conference of EA opened up E3 on Saturday afternoon. And we'll start with you, Mo. What were and we'll go in detail of what we saw, just the overall impressions of the EA press conference.
Okay. For EA, I felt like they did right with the sports section. I'll give them that credit. I felt like it was going. They didn't have like those sports. Like some type of sports star come on.
I was actually thinking of you when that happened. I thought they were gonna have Tom Brady out there at the beginning when they actually, because everyone had a Tom Brady jersey on. I'm like, oh shit, Mo's gonna be pissed, but they didn't. I was thinking of you. You called that.
It would have been like prolonged, and it would have been an awkward conversation. Just let's get to the game. Let's show it. It's cool that they brought up the drum line just to, get that going for the cheerleading squad or whatever. It would have been funny if they brought a cheerleading squad.
It's another way for them to spend money.
Right. So
don't pay your developers, but make sure you got a drum line.
Yeah.
For a conference that
send extra money for Montreal.
Exactly.
Montreal. They needed some more funding. No.
But
the facial animation on the drum line was amazing. Although that one guy had the bass drum, his head kept doing this. It was awkward, but glitches are to be expected. It was a last minute booking. So.
I found
they'll have a patch for it.
I found that to be a little better. I prefer that, where they just like, okay, let's get to this game. This is where you show Madden. Yeah. Now I don't know how they're going with Madden. I'm not a big sports game player. Like I'm not into it, but it looked interesting. I don't know what direction they're going with. I don't know if they're going into college, because all I saw was college teams, and then going into the NFL. Because I didn't hear the explanation on that game, so I don't know how Madden is going to come out to be. But.
Before we get into the specifics, what about the overall impression of the con? Just overall, before we get into specifics.
The sports section was good. I thought it was lazy towards the end. It was just lazy.
They just put a 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was like 20 to 30 minute multiplayer battle. Okay, cool.
It was badly orchestrated.
It was badly orchestrated, but I know that they had live players that they got from YouTube that are.
I don't need to see it live. How about you have the development team go through it and they show me some cool stuff, and maybe I'll find Easter eggs. But they've already kind of gone, okay, minute 3, here's what we're going to focus on. Yeah. And you get that footage as opposed to, but it's live. I don't give a fuck. I want what's impressive. That's what I want to see.
I would have preferred to see a montage of all the good stuff that actually happened. Like, if you put a montage of all the stuff that you can do and the cool stuff, that's what I would have preferred.
And Rich, what was your impression of the EA press conference? Overall impression?
Lazy.
Lazy?
Lazy.
I
don't understand what they're going for. Again, the cynic in me tells me, like, the sports focus. I did like that they didn't have guest star kind of stuff, but I don't think they're getting their message across, because I think that they're doing too many things. Like, the reason I think they're doing the storyline stuff and all the sports titles is to give that mocap facial animation team something to justify that purchase. Andromeda already showed that was a mistake. So instead of putting them on 15 different projects, because let's be honest, the Madden players, they don't really give a fuck about a storyline. They just want stats. It's fantasy football. No. They don't care about the making of the player kind of stuff. Especially if it's going to be a new one. If it's Tom Brady's career, I'm sure there's a niche audience that'll go for that, or whatever player you want to pick. But when it's a fictional character, that's not the same one. Us that do the role-playing stuff, it works for us. For them, it was busy work for that team. I think that that's a mistake, and I think that the entire conference, not just EA, but this year, I think that's what it was, is they're getting bloated like Hollywood. That they're throwing too much stuff behind all the bells and whistles, and they're forgetting basic gameplay, which is why we get so excited for stuff like new graphics for Shadow of the Colossus Remastered. Because the game was engineered well. Now it's just a new coat of polish on it. Where's the new game that's taking that kind of role? You don't have that kind of forward thinking.
It took 8 years to make The Last Guardian.
It did. And that's nobody's fault but the director and the.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, though. Yeah. They're playing it safe, and they figure if I hire a bunch of actors to do mocap and I put that in there and I've got an Oscar award-winning, musical team behind it and they're doing the soundtrack and all that kind of stuff, that all of a sudden the 50 million copies I was selling is going to be 65. You're already overblown. Can you just give us the game? Stop with this other stuff.
And EA, if you need any YouTube creators, we have 3 right here that will actually introduce a game next year, EA E3 2018. Our dates are open. We are available. I'm sure we would do a lot better fucking job than what happened in Need for Speed.
Oh, that's terrible.
And we are available. We will announce any game you'd like.
I stutter a lot cheaper.
I
My
won't.
day rate's a lot lower.
I won't
than
freeze.
these
I'll
guys,
tell you that much. I'm gonna be like, I'm in the game. Yes. It was so weird that they introduced that.
You know what I like most about this? Jesus, it's just so ham-fisted. Nobody talks like that. That's why everybody they hate the movie dialogue when the character goes, "Oh, you mean the mayor?" Nobody would say that in real life. That's an exposition dump. That's what they do in all these marketing conferences.
Well, that's how I
fake.
felt like they did for Payback, but
Yes.
For which?
for it's Payback for Need for Speed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's that.
I just lazy. I felt it was safe. There wasn't really any chances. Just stuck with Battlefront 2. Let's do multiplayer. Just have them play for. It was a long fucking match.
It was a long.
'Cause they want to show all 3 phases of outside, then inside. It was too long.
They should have showed Phase 1 and then showed single player. Single player had to be something that was gonna. I felt was strongly needed, especially after not seeing it the last Battlefront game, and I felt like they could have showed Phase 1, and then as E3 progressed through the the actual show and the showcasing and everything, they could have showed the rest of the phases, and then if you were interested in that, go look it up. Cool, but don't. That's too long.
That's the
Too
biggest
long.
question with that thing is we already know what multiplayer looks like for Battlefront. And we've seen some of the cutscene kind of stuff for the single player experience. What's the game going to play like? Because you guys know how it's all about, respawn points and stuff like that. When I'm trying to be Iden Verso, how does that work? Because she shouldn't be able to respawn. So how does that play as single player in a multiplayer game?
Go to IGN.com though. They'll give you your little previews.
No, they'll have a bunch of fans outside the arena that aren't experts any more than we are that are all sitting there and just... It was amazing! Xbox wins the day! No, shut up.
Alright, so what stood out to you the most? EA press conference, what stood out?
Probably the funniest thing I'm going to say is out of the Battlefront multiplayer gameplay, I saw actually I'm not even going to say that. The Battlefield 1, the DLC release, that's what stood out to me the most.
That's what I was waiting for.
Like
Battlefield 1.
6 maps, and they already just showcased the first map. Okay, that's a big expansion. 6 maps, the new guns. You get a whole new the Russian army with the female scouts now. Holy shit! I'm excited. So in the name of the Tsar, I'm actually pretty excited for that expansion. That's what excited me the most. I already have the gold edition of Battlefield 1, and they just recently announced, this was announced probably a month ago, that if you were to purchase and you were to come in, or you had just the game, the original copy for $60, and I have all the map packs, as long as we're in the same squad, you guys will be able to play. So even though you don't have the DLC purchase, if you jump on my squad and I invite you and I'm squad leader, then you get to play everything I get to play.
You're a great squad leader. You look out after me.
I try to. I play medic, by the way, so that's my job.
And it releases September.
Yeah, so it's
September.
a big DLC. 6 maps is just massive. New guns, new skin mods for the guns. New we got the Russians. We got them in. So that's already massive. They're already including another force that you can be to fight in that war.
Is there any chance there's a submarine that you can't blow up but can't kill you either, and you just get stuck for 30 minutes and can't finish the level?
That would be funny.
Inside joke.
That would be funny. But I'm excited to see what the big mammoth is, because in every stage there's a huge mammoth, either tank, submarine, battleship, huge airplane, or the Zeppelin that you get to control. So I want to see what they're going to incorporate now for the new mammoth
That's
vehicle.
Why I said submarine.
Yeah, that would be awesome. It would be cool, if they were to release something like that and to man a submarine underneath. That would be pretty awesome. I wouldn't doubt it. I would love that shit. But that's what excited me the most out of all. And it's a fucking DLC. But that's me. So.
And Rich, what stood out to you? The EA conference.
The Anthem teaser. I think that was seeing
that stand out in a positive way or a negative way.
Well, there wasn't a lot of information in the EA one. Xbox, there's still a lot of from that conference.
Because from the text I got from you, you didn't seem too thrilled about that.
It's
teaser.
got potential, but
about the teaser though, which I was talking. What we saw at EA
bad.
without Xbox, what we just saw at EA before we saw anything about Anthem. You two didn't seem, or it was you. You said you were disappointed in BioWare of that teaser.
They didn't address anything with Mass Effect's problems. They didn't announce anything about Dragon Age, and you gave me a teaser that was go to a developer or a console manufacturer's conference, but we're not exclusive to them. So I didn't get the point of what they were doing.
Yeah, that was a bit confusing to me too. I was like, okay, so I have to go watch Xbox now.
I would have saved your announcement for Xbox. Don't even tease in the EA thing.
Well, you should have just kept it under wraps then. It would have made a lot more sense than just showing something. Oh, go see this. It's like clickbait. You know, it's like you're on the internet. All of a sudden, you're like, okay.
It was. We were watching EA.
Click on this, and then
we never
takes you to another
guessed
website.
what would happen next.
And then you have a virus.
Although I got some pills that'll make my penis extremely huge, apparently.
Clickbait.
I can second that. It works. It works. What stood out to me was A Way Out. Early 2018, the co-op
that was interesting.
game with that prison. You have to break out of prison. Looks like you're in the woods to get out. It was the developers from Brothers.
Yeah,
the creators from Brothers.
Yeah, Brothers. Yeah, and that was an indie game. It had a really good storyline. It was storyline based. This one seems like action, adventure, 2-player co-op, the whole thing. That was amazing.
Required co-op.
Yeah, required. Yeah, required.
You can't go solo.
Couch co-op and online. So that's pretty intense. And the way that they split the screen, how he was showing certain segments, you'll have to coordinate with your friend and talk it out and stuff. That's pretty cool.
It looked awesome.
I just don't want another Kane and Lynch.
It didn't look anything like Kane and Lynch to me.
Was that similar?
It was supposed to be co-op, but you could play it by yourself. But it was one of those, they were going for the artsy, but they didn't know what they were doing. It was like a dumbed down artsy. They thought atmosphere would make up for bad mechanics in the game.
I played both, and it was just... The first one was heading in an okay direction, but I didn't...
No, by the time you did the last two missions, it was dumb.
No,
just it was really repetitive.
Yeah, the mechanics that they had, like... One person's watching a split screen, but the other is actually in game, and you can actually assist. And I saw about a behind the scenes video of Hands On, where one of the players is actually being attacked by a cop, and is being choked out, and he can actually die if you don't watch and actually go save him on your screen. A Way Out comes out release date early 2018. Looking forward to that game, and that's gonna be a common theme. Early 2018, there's a lot of games, whatever the fuck early means.
Yeah.
Can we track how many of these actually make early 2018?
Yeah, I have them written down.
I want to see how many actually make 2018 at all.
That get the delay. So we talked about what stood out. Now, what was your biggest disappointment of the conference? We'll start with you, Rich. What was your biggest disappointment with the EA?
BioWare. Although, not having single-player Battlefront, that was a big problem, too. Especially when you bring the main actress that's in the single player. You have her there. You're not going to show any of her performance. What was the reason to bring her out? So, no, BioWare didn't address anything. And like I said before, that last question, you basically said, hey, I've got something for you. Come back tomorrow. I'll tell you what it is. I didn't like that. I'd rather you kept your mouth shut.
So what are you most disappointed, the BioWare or the Battlefront?
BioWare. Because BioWare is on the bad foot right now. We know they're working on Dragon Age because that's leaked. They didn't say anything about it. And to basically give us the logo for Anthem, and that was it. Like, that's been Mo's whole conversation the last couple of weeks is why, if I'm a Sony guy, why do I have to watch the Microsoft press conference to see a game that I don't have to have an Xbox to play? I'm going to play it on the PS4. Why do I want to watch the Microsoft thing? Especially because you don't know where it's going to land in there. You have to sit through all these... as we've been mentioning, the awkward fucking speeches from YouTubers and shit like that, or stupid marketing people, or leads in the development team, and they're trying to sell you on the thing, and you just want to get gameplay of whatever's supposed to be the Destiny killer.
Right.
So
they wanted to show it off on the the most powerful console
But you
ever.
could do that in the EA press conference. I would say that that's where you should be.
Right.
Which it wasn't announced yet. So they were stuck in the middle. Where they couldn't. Well, they
were stuck at the beginning.
But
They could have said Scorpio.
But wait a second. Wasn't
Yes.
Microsoft the first one who said we're going to do Sunday as opposed to the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lineup that they usually do for these conferences? And then everybody started doing the, well, we're going to do Saturday then.
Yeah,
Well, EA
that
was
kind of
actually
stuff?
first.
Okay, EA
went
was
Saturday.
okay. My bad then.
Yeah, EA went Saturday, which Microsoft will then.
But again,
could've-
it's not like EA didn't know that Microsoft sometime that week, whether it was Saturday, Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday,
They were
were
talking.
going to announce it. It's not like, oh, you guys weren't going to say it on Friday? Shit, I should have known that before I wrote all these speeches for the last 3 months. No, they knew. Let's coordinate things a little bit better.
And Mel, what was your biggest disappointment?
It was
EA?
Battlefront single player. It needed to be shown. If you have a problem, they even initiated it when they were talking about Battlefront 2 at the beginning when they were saying, oh, when the guy that plays Finn in Star Wars, what is his name? Boyega is his last name?
John Boyega.
Yeah, John Boyega. He was there and he put that tweet, and then all the tweets that were like, "Where's Battlefront?" You know,
Single player.
single player, and then you don't fucking show it. What the fuck? What the fuck? That's
Oh, they couldn't find a YouTuber that knew how to play it yet. They didn't ever have single player on there, so they didn't know how to do it without spoiling the game.
so
So,
then the whole
hands are tied.
Yes, so that is interesting that they did talk about Finn coming out. Oh, hey,
Yeah.
single player, and they have Rich said they have the single player actress who's actually there, but they.
But the homegirl comes out and she's like, "We got single player." Oh, but you know what? We're gonna go over here and just watch 3 phases of the actual multiplayer, because you know nobody cares about the single player anymore. So, well,
Why they spend so much money on it, and why was everybody disappointed last year?
like they could have done a simple thing and just did like a whole little trailer showing some of the actual story. And you don't have to show the whole thing, just like a Star Wars.
But I
film.
needed to see the clones attacking Theed, because that didn't happen in the movie, but it was interesting.
something. You need to show something, and they didn't show nothing. They just showed people bitching about not having the single player, which was a pretty big concept. I mean, I
everybody
agree with
talk.
you. Yeah, and then
I think it's a statement about where that game is. There is no single player to show. There'll be something, but it's not going to be what we want.
so
That is my biggest fear, and that's my disappointment as well as a single player for Battlefront. That's what I really want to see. And
I'm worried it's going to be the VR experience. It's going to be a very good 20 minutes, but it's only 20 minutes. Like, wow, Inferno Squad, that was a good half hour of my life. Now what happens?
I have confidence based off like the hands-on impressions that I have read, and to get a 30-year gap of story.
yeah.
I don't think that it's all the way complete or it's what they want it to be. I know they played like the hands-on impressions is great, but I don't think they have it all completed and down pat for it to be playable.
It was mostly multiplayer focused, so I mean that's not a bad thing either. But I mean, show people what they were expecting, like they at least a little bit. You don't have to show the whole damn thing. I'm just saying you don't even have to show a mission. Just show.
We
like,
literally have not
something.
seen any gameplay footage
Something.
of the single
You
player.
have to show something.
We've only seen CG cutscenes.
So yeah, exactly. So, but
The one thing that they did push, as in there's no season pass, all the map packs are going to be free, but microtransactions. That's how they're going to get their money. The microtransactions. They're going to have 3 times the content, which isn't fucking saying much because you had shit for content in the original release.
no.
So, we have 3 times more. That doesn't mean anything.
No, you get all those virtual diorama pieces. It'd be awesome.
So, single player Battlefront.
Now I can have a TIE Advanced in there.
And
not just a TIE
I was
Fighter.
going to give it leeway, and I was giving it leeway, as Rich and Mo was like, where's the single player? I'm like, wait until Sony, because they have that marketing deal. Wait until Sony, and I was wrong. Another disappointment I think we all agree on is those YouTube creators. They had 2 of them. The Need for Speed was uncomfortable
Yeah.
on everyone's side.
Yeah. He was freezing. He was just I don't know what
It
he was
wasn't
doing.
even close. Right when he came up on screen for the Need for Speed, he froze for about a minute and a half. And once the other guy came on, took control, and then he was fine. And then the same thing for NBA Live. And we'll talk about this again in another press conference I did this. Well, they went in the back outside NBA Live 18 where there's a fucking glare on the screen. And YouTube creator was fine.
Yeah.
It's just
You can't see anything.
You can't see anything. It puts him in an awkward situation trying to describe the game, and you can't see. Oh, you hit the left and right joystick to dribble, but you can't see shit.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with what their day jobs are. They're trying to promote a genuine experience, but these are not. They're scripted. The whole thing is scripted, or it's laid out, and they're not hitting the hallmarks. Like I was complaining about the multiplayer for Battlefront. They had too many times where they cut away to a guy that was flying the droid ship, and he's going up, and you're seeing clouds. I want to see the city. I want to see you shooting, army units. I don't want to see you trying to do a loop-de-loop because you're just given free reign. They didn't tell him where to go, and it doesn't need to be live. I don't care that it's live. I wanted to see the footage. When I watch the trailers, I don't go, oh, that would be better if it was live. I just want to be wowed. Just give me the actual entertainment value. So it has nothing to do with them.
I have a big problem with the Need for Speed guy.
Yeah.
I have a big fucking problem with the Need
is?
for Speed guy.
Just because it was so awkward?
Fucking so on one end, on his end, not preparing or just fucking freezing, and then the EA is throwing this guy out there who obviously was not ready.
Yeah.
And you're promoting Need for Speed Payback, a big title of yours coming out this fall, and we are not talking about Need for Speed right now. We're talking about the guy who presented the game.
Yeah.
What does that tell you? That's why for the last few weeks I've been saying it's being built up too much. That's why we shouldn't focus on this, because maybe they give away too much when the IGN has their focus for the month, IGN first, or we get these other things on Polygon or Kotaku or whatever, or just a regular trailer release. That, I think, is a better way to speak to your audience than these stupid conventions. This used to be to get the stores interested in buying this stuff, and now we all live and die by it, but it doesn't mean anything because it's not well done. They're trying to wow us, but there's so much anticipation, we end up being deflated when they don't hit us with everything, or when they do, they can't live up to expectations because it's all phony and fake and scripted, or they put out dates that are either vague or they're specific, and then they never meet the hallmarks. Wasn't that the big thing with Mass Effect, is 3 major delays? Because they kept saying, we're going to hit this.
Red Dead Redemption. But with that being said, EA, if you need 3 presenters, the passionate playing video games will be available for E3 2018 to present.
Only with Aisha Tyler, though.
Oh, yes.
So we're going to the Ubisoft press conference, is what you're saying.
Apparently she was not considered this year, or maybe she had other things to do, but...
She went soft.
Wow.
Her wood was not hard enough anymore. We love you.
I love you.
Well, those are our reactions to the EA press conference. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt about the press conference. Next up, we're going to give our reactions to the Microsoft press conference. And we'll just get out of the way. They finally revealed the name of their Scorpio.
Yeah, I'm going to stop. Can I have the pillow for a second?
Yes.
I don't want to be courteous.
I'm
better now.
As Zoe runs to his savior, which she actually does to me every time I get pissed off in a video game and I yell.
Hi.
She actually comes to me and makes sure that Daddy's okay. Every time that I get upset, she makes sure that I'm okay.
And that's why she didn't come to my house, because it would be nonstop.
Yeah.
She'd break her hip.
Wanting to make sure he's okay. So Xbox Scorpio has an official name called Xbox One X. Not S as in Sam, as what they already have. X as in X-ray. Xbox One X.
X as in I'm an ex-Microsoft fanboy.
That works too. And it's retail for $500, release date of November 7th of this year. So in our predictions, we have one of us was going to be correct, and that would be Rich. Was correct in the month of November, was his prediction. I got the price right of $500.
Thank God, that was better.
If it was $700, I would have shit myself.
I think everybody is still shitting over $500, but yeah, it's better to be there.
Oh, $500. So, Rich, the Xbox fanboy.
Listen, I
what was your initial reactions of the overall initial reactions of the conference?
Okay, everything that we talked about, because remember, I was the one who was like, "This isn't a new console; it's just a slight upgrade. It's their version of the PS4 Pro, which is exactly what it is." I think that they've lost their message, is what I got from this. There's no exclusives. There are, but they're not anything that's
Super Lucky's Tale, Crackdown 3.
Okay, and I'm a Crackdown fanboy,
We'll talk
and
about that.
I don't like that game. I don't know why Terry Crews is there, and I love Terry Crews. I don't get what the fuck any of that was. So I'm still going to have my Xbox, and we'll get there when we get to Sony, but I'll tell you, between those two conferences, that's where I decided I'm going to buy a PS4 Pro now. So I've had enough. I'm not. That doesn't mean I'm giving up my Xbox. I don't care because I believe in the industry as a whole. But me thinking that was my future, I think they lost a lot of their steam.
Batman Arkham VR. Batman Arkham VR. I see that in your future. The PS4 Pro. I might even bring my VR over there. If it's going to be better. My initial reactions of the Microsoft press conference was, I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Yep.
I don't. I'm so confused of who or what. Like, who's this console for? Well, we might say this for another time because this is more in-depth conversation, probably for next week, of who is actually going to buy this console rather than a fucking idiot like myself who is not worth $500. I'm going to return my Xbox One, get some credits, 100 or 125, whatever they have. They sometimes have a bonus, but it's not worth 500. And I don't think they sold that well.
And it's only because you already have a 4K system.
I have a 4K TV.
so.
If I didn't have a 4K, absolutely fucking not. But I told myself after the PS4 Pro, as in I'm gonna wait a year for the Scorpio, now Xbox One X, and I even told myself, I told my wife, as in if they announce a PS5 at the Sony, I'm gonna wait until the PS5 because I do want 4K gaming. I have 4K. I know what 4K looks like, but I don't know if 98% of the other population knows what 4K, non-PC, because PC they've had 4K gaming for the last few years
for a while. Yeah.
But for console players, I don't think they have any idea of what 4K gaming looks like, and it's very hard to show that in a conference. And with this machine is $500, which I thought for a mid-generation gap of $500 is very hard for other people to swallow when your Xbox One S is $250,
Which is coming down in price now. It's $200 now.
Yeah.
is that and then is that limited time or is that?
I know
going
it's
forward.
200. Yeah, it's going
Okay.
forward.
I cannot sell that to someone unless. But if you have the money for a 4K, I guess.
Yeah, but
fucking
the
Xbox One
upgrade
X.
to the X is basically a $300 difference. I don't think that's $300 of difference.
Just justify.
And there's no games that are must-haves. There's no system sellers other than what you already had. And even there, I felt like as an Xbox One day one purchaser, I was let down. That's why I'm yelling.
And that was what we talked about, as in they've been dark for the last few years, as in show off what this 4K can do. And very hard to do on a press conference with people watching on HD monitors. So that was my initial reaction. Mo, what was your initial reaction?
I'm gonna tell you this. Like, I owning PlayStation and the Switch as well, I was looking to buy into the Xbox market, and I'm being in all serious. I was looking to see what they were gonna have to wow me. I watched the whole conference. I found nothing. I found nothing to wow me to get this system. I didn't see it.
Because there's nothing that you wouldn't be able to get on PlayStation, or the couple that maybe would be on a high-end PC.
So
what are you going to do?
Not better.
So it's come down to this decision. Instead of spending $500, now to break it down, if I was a person that didn't own a 4K television, I would have to go buy an Xbox One X. It's $500. Then I have to buy a 4K television, which if I don't find it on special, it's gonna run me between $600 to $800 maybe
At least, yeah.
At least, depending on the size, and bigger is better when it comes to TVs. Yeah. So that's
Is that with everything bigger is better, or just TVs?
I think. Well, relax. Talk about TVs.
All right, King Kong.
So between those two, I'm already spending more than $1,000. Like. Yeah,
you didn't get the Elite controller yet.
Oh, and the Elite controller, so another $120,
$120.
however much is going. Which I thought it would have been if it would have been bundled in with the Xbox One X,
Yeah, we talked
it would have
about that.
justified kind of the buying of the means because then you get that pro controller. Because they're saying they're marketing this for the
hardcore
gamers.
Yeah, but the hardcore gamers already have the Elite controller. Why do you need another one? You probably
This is-
already have 4, don't
This
you?
the other thing what this has come down to is me saving my money and just buying a super high end PC that will last me for the next 15 years. That's what it's come down to.
And most of Microsoft games you'll be able to play
On
because it's
PC
the Windows.
and
Yep,
and
so
that's
anywhere.
that's not just for me. That's also my girlfriend. She says let's just save the money for high end PCs and we'll play 4K on that. It's better. We can play every game that Xbox is offering on there to Windows.
And then when the PS5 comes out, and you'll be able to get that in 4K, and that'll be.
It's all because of their exclusives. That's what how Sony has bought me in is their exclusives, their storylines, their gaming, everything. So,
Horizon, I love you.
it's
We'll get into that later.
Later.
But damn.
yeah. This
I don't
this-
even have it, and I'll agree.
I was waiting for that like big momentum game that's just gonna suck me into Xbox, and it didn't. It really didn't.
And I'm a purchaser, and I was waiting for that and didn't get it.
Crackdown. As we'll get into that.
We'll get into that. So
Yeah.
that was our initial reactions. Let's go on the positive side a little bit. So what was your favorite part? What stood out to you? What hit you in the heart of the Microsoft press conference?
Anthem. It did look impressive. A lot of questions, but it was a good first step for us to see that. It bothers me that the facial animation looks so much better considering they're like 3 weeks behind on development than Andromeda was. It's got potential, but there's too many, and it's just the first announcement kind of stuff. But I don't know. We'll see. Destiny, we all had high hopes, and we saw how badly that was screwed up. And
But BioWare?
and that's my argument of I want to believe, but this isn't BioWare anymore. It's BioWare in name only. This is I want you to have that
Andromeda
nostalgic.
hit you deep. Andromeda cut you deep.
They fucked up their entire business and killed off one of the most thought-provoking IPs I've seen. Like I told you, that ending, and again, it's my personal bias, is so divisive that you got many people that got them away from BioWare completely because that was a complete clusterfuck, or someone who thinks that if it's the way that I hope it was, that it was intentional that they left us like that. It's one of the greatest pieces of literary work I've ever seen implemented, that it affects the characters and the reader in the same way, but in 2 different ways at the same time, the way that they affect the characters and the player. That is a brilliant move that is exactly the example of why gaming is a special kind of art form compared to books, TV, movies, stuff like that. If they did something that nobody else can do.
Yeah.
If they did that. As opposed to me hoping to find that there's a silver lining to the turd that they dropped on all our fucking doorsteps. So
Into our mouths.
and I have to kind of worry because I played Andromeda. So I have to worry that it was unintentional. It wasn't their agenda, and that Anthem could easily, especially because this isn't an RPG. I'm sure there's going to be RPG elements because that's what they're good at. But again, this isn't them. They're putting that name on there to tell you, don't worry, it'll be okay. I don't think it's okay. I think this is them treading on that IP, and I'm worried.
I thought Anthem looked incredible. Again, the short demo, who knows how far it is. But Destiny had a lot of hype, and how disappointed I
We all
was.
thought that was going to be the game changer.
Yeah,
and
and
it
a
wasn't.
shared universe. I'm not much in a shared universe, but this one's something I might jump into. So the one that stood out to me was Metro Exodus. I thought that was an incredible gameplay demo.
Did you think it was gameplay? That's a discussion Mo and I had. We think that was like Killzone, that it was
I think it was
for the majority,
it
maybe
was
not all of
majority,
it.
Some of it was gameplay, but the majority it was scripted. I've played all Metro games. I played the first one, second one. There was 2, the Redux. Played them on PC, beating top to bottom. It's a horror filled game, but I felt that it was mostly scripted and it wasn't full gameplay. When he got outside, I believe that's when some of the gameplay started. Like that whole map thing where he brings up the clipboard.
Right when he walks
That's
outside?
that was in the first game. So you have a clipboard that tells you like your missions and a little bit of a map and a compass.
I've never played any of the Metro, but the world and the universe
It's,
that they have, it looks like
it's very intriguing.
post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't look that good, I'm still
No. Those
okay with
games
it.
look amazing. Just
Yeah.
the first one now looks amazing. If you play it, like your PC that I bought it on PC. I know it's out for PlayStation, and they have sales on the first one, bundled in with the DLC extra pack or whatever, which increases the story. But playing it on PC, I had to like basically upgrade my system with a new graphics card because it does take a lot of graphics.
And this will take
so.
the 4K.
Yeah.
Try and make that, and it looked very pretty. Killzone 2 did start that as is this shit real or fake?
Yeah.
And how much is this really gonna look like this game? Because Killzone 2 brought up the hype. Then when people saw it, I'm like, it still was pretty.
It's representative of gameplay.
Yeah. But Metro Exodus, it's on my radar. And I thought, again, a great demo, great
That's a good point.
universe. Something I wasn't even on my mind. But this is a discussion we might save another time, as we talked about, as in Metro, more likely will not be exclusive.
It's not exclusive.
Anthem fucking will not be exclusive with BioWare. So we had a discussion earlier as why were those shown at the Microsoft press conference if they're not, and they didn't announce. It might be too early to announce any DLC, which more than likely they'll have that partnership. And Anthem, I can see with BioWare having not map pack, but might have some DLC first on Microsoft. Same with Metro. If there's a DLC, it will be first to be at that press conference.
Yeah.
And Mo, what stood out to you?
I got a couple things. Well, the very big one would be Anthem, but it like I said, it's not an exclusive to Xbox. I was looking for that exclusive. The only exclusive that actually got to me was State of Decay.
Which you've been waiting for.
I have been waiting for it.
Fine.
They've been silent on it, but they didn't show off. When they first announced State of Decay 2, they said it was going to be co-op integrated because the first State of Decay wasn't co-op. It was single player, like build your own fortress. There's a storyline to it, and the DLC was fine. But I wanted to see the co-op integrated, and they didn't show that in this game. They showed that, the gameplay's like if your character dies, the character that you like dies, you go into another character in your party. It's pretty cool. I like that because not every character, they all have weaknesses and problems. So you have to figure out the strengths of who to play. So when one person dies, you do take the eyes of the female character at the end. But they didn't show the co-op. I think I wanted to see that co-op because it will change a lot of things in that game. And it's open world, so I wanted to see how they were going to integrate that, and they didn't show me that. But I'm still excited for the game.
Well, you've been excited for it ever since.
Yeah.
It was
State of
announced last
Decay
year.
is like, if it was an Xbox exclusive, then I would pick up a $200 Xbox just to play that.
All right, fair enough on that one.
I can see it. Spring 2018 release for State of Decay 2.
Not gonna make it.
We'll see.
That's one that I'm picking is delayed till summer at least.
Until summer or fall.
Yep.
Like there's September.
It's a
release.
massive game. There's like an open world, so it's massive. It's not a small game.
I actually got excited. It reminded me of an actual true Walking Dead.
Yeah, and that's how it plays.
And that got me really excited. As in, they showed in the trailer, like they're in that house. They started to build like a garden, like kind of like we're actually gonna live here and guard it, like actually like the Walking Dead. Someone got bit, and they decided, are we gonna
Save them or
use the cure to save them, or are we
That's
just
your co-op right there.
kill them?
But I mean, the way that it plays, it's like you're building your own base, and you can go inside and outside of every house because you have to scavenge for supplies. You actually like if you find a diner, that's the place that you're gonna go to for the next few days to get food because they're stocked up on like canned
Can I have a
foods and
tiger?
food. I ain't going that. What?
What
game is that?
Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. He has his tiger.
There's no tiger in there.
But that actually got me more. I wasn't excited last. You know, you've been talking about it, but that trailer actually got me intrigued. About it. I might pick that up depending on the release date. Yeah. So now we've been boiling this. Our biggest disappointments of the press conference. So I will go first. on this. My biggest disappointment is Crackdown 3 to me. The reason why is I wanted Microsoft to actually show me, like, what games are you going to launch that's going to show off this 4K. And Crackdown 3 has been dark for about 2 years. I think Gamescom 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, is when they actually showed it, and then never even showed it. And this is going to be a launch on the same day as Xbox One X, so this is the game they're going to be promoting, and they didn't have any gameplay. I don't know if they had it on the show floor. I haven't been able to check.
People said it plays well, but it looks bad.
Oof.
Yeah.
They
said it feels good. It plays
Okay.
really good. It's very entertaining. But when you look at it, yeah, it looks like Crackdown 2, where you're like, oh god, just neon everywhere kind of stuff.
So I just wish they would have showed some actual gameplay. They showed a cinematic trailer, and at the beginning, what was that guy's?
Terry Crews.
Yeah, Terry Crews. All right, I was fine with that.
Again, I like him, but I don't get the point of any of that. And
him yelling.
Crackdown has a very specific sense of humor, and I think that they were going for humor, but that wasn't their type of humor. Like, if you go to a Bill Maher or a Dennis Miller kind of stand-up, you want a little bit more, like, historical references, not dick and fart jokes. And I'm not saying that's what Terry Crews is doing, but, like, Crackdown is not the humor that he was to upgrade your boom. What the fuck does that even mean? It was stupid. That whole thing was stupid.
It wasn't on my radar. I had no plans of buying Crackdown 3, but I thought I was actually going to change. I thought they were going to show, like, holy shit, I was wrong. Mm-hmm. And they're talking about the previews, like, from 2 years ago, how destructible the environments are. Yeah. As in to sell me, and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna be buying that on launch day. That doesn't. But I was open to be sold on it. They didn't show much. I don't really give a shit about Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3 went from day one to me to no, I'll wait
as a launch. So that was a disappointment for me. What about you, Mo?
Crackdown was one of them. I felt like it's not a game that was on my radar to begin with, but there was so much hype for it, like, to get it going, especially because they've been announcing, and people, I've seen the on the forums, people talk about Crackdown this, and then I watch and I'm like, I'd rather play Saints Row or Agents of Mayhem.
Agents of Mayhem, August.
I'd just rather play that.
Gat's back.
Gat is back. So, I'd rather play that. It reminded me so much of Saints Row and Agents of Mayhem that I felt that it was like, I feel it'll get buried between those games. And even though Saints Row is a little bit older, they're still releasing DLCs for it. So people still play that game to this day just because of the whole, running up and down, it's comical, it's humorous. Crackdown kind of let me down. And it wasn't even a game I was expecting. I was just trying to see what everybody was so hyped about. Because if they're hyped, then I want to see, this is a buying game.
2 was a big misstep, and 3, I thought, especially coming with the X that launched, I was like, they're going to do something.
That's what I was waiting. I thought they were going to go hard. I knew it was going to be a launch title, but I thought they were going to, like, this is why the fucking X, and this is going to be fucking huge.
Yeah, it got to me a little bit. The other disappointment, and not to rain on anybody's parade, but was the Xbox One X, just in general. It's just
fair.
I don't see anybody or why anybody should spend that money on that console. Again, if you want a little bit of an upgrade, like what Rich says, if you want the Maserati or if you want a Toyota, it's like that's what it is.
You've been on record on previous episodes saying, like, you're open and you've never owned an Xbox. Yeah, you've been on record on previous episodes saying I might get an Xbox. But I understand. I completely understand. Like, as in how I am with the Switch, I cannot sell the Switch to someone who's like to Rich. I cannot fully believe and sell. You need to buy a Switch. Yeah. I cannot fully sell an Xbox One X.
And
to someone.
It was confusing to me how they're trying to market to the hardcore gamer. And I'm like, but that's like saying if you own an Xbox One S. If you go and buy it, you're not a hardcore gamer. I know plenty of people that own on that console. Like, I know plenty of players that will destroy, on KDRs and everything. So how are you not a hardcore gamer? If you game, you game. That's what should be the market. You don't specify you're a hardcore gamer. You need to buy a $500 console to justify the means. No, you are a gamer. That's it.
Yeah, you want to market to hardcore gamers? Give us some fucking games. That would be a start.
Exactly.
Sony they created the template. Yeah. For that.
And so that's where my disappointment lies. Is you don't you don't call somebody out and be like, you're not a hardcore gamer because you don't own my $500. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. But that was my biggest gripe for that whole conference.
And Rich, what was your biggest disappointment?
Death of the Scorpio. Yeah, by far. Because it was nothing. It had potential, whether it was what I thought, which was the conservative. It's just an upgrade in hardware, but it's not a new console generation. But they, like I said, the overall thing is you could have tied this into we are committed to gamers, and you left us all with blue balls.
But we're going to have original Xbox games.
Which I do support that.
Yeah.
But you can do that right now. Like, there should be a patch that was available yesterday that I could have just done that yesterday and gone on about my business.
As in, Phil Spencer did elaborate more during an interview, and they asked, how is this going to work, the original Xbox? So it is going to work with original discs, which I actually have my original discs actually in that corner over there. I have my original Xbox discs, but they said more likely about who has, what's the majority of people actually kept the original Xbox discs?
Yeah, collectors.
Very small.
Collectors,
I have
yeah.
all my games, but he suggested and hinted it might be on their Xbox Game Pass of their rental subscription service that they might have original Xbox One games that way instead of buying them. You can probably buy them on digital, but more likely he gave a hint as in that might not be a bad place to put the original Xbox as Game Pass.
You know, speaking on that, like for me to go into a backlog, I have all my PlayStation 2 games. I still have my PlayStation 2.
I have all my games.
I have all my stuff. I've never traded in anything in like crazy. I've traded in if it was broken, but to get
or
it
if it's
fixed,
like
and they
complete
just gave me a little
garbage,
bit, gave me a little bit of credit. But I told them it was broken. They gave me whatever they gave me. You know, I've kept everything, but you know, I know that there's nostalgia there for some people, but it's not a big thing. And I'm sorry, I kind of agree with the subscription pass where a lot of people don't or won't, but a lot of people don't have those old games and old cartridges.
Yeah.
So I agree with the way that Xbox and even PlayStation does it because they have the subscription based, you know, I forget what they're called, the play pass for Xbox.
Game Pass.
Game Pass.
Yeah. So the one thing that's smart on those things that I feel is smart is that they put those old games on there, and then they take them away and they upgrade it with another game that you've never played, so you can play those classic games. Sony does the same thing. It's smart. Just I feel if you want to play those games and you don't have those old cartridges, subscribe. That's it.
And I think it's great for a new generation to play.
Yeah.
Because new kids probably started with the Xbox One or started with the 360 and they weren't old enough or didn't really get into gaming because there is some fantastic original Xbox games.
Yeah.
That's
incredible original Xbox games. And Rich and I, we go Knights of the Old Republic. I'll recommend
Just
that to anyone.
You have to.
fairly good.
Those were all like great
Splinter
games.
Cell, and Chaos Theory. Like there's incredible original Xbox games for new generation that didn't have the chance to play, and I hope that gives them.
I think that I agree with that whole play pass thing, and it's like $10, isn't it, a month or something?
$10
like that?
over 100
super
games.
Cheap. It's like you get
but he didn't say officially. He just kind of hinted that might be a great place because they asked, "How is this going to work if we don't have a disc?"
And that's the best
he
part.
hinted
the network
Game Pass might be a
But
great
see,
place
that's
to
the
put it.
problem. Why are you announcing stuff if you don't have a plan in place? Then keep your mouth shut. And I know that this wasn't a statement, but like you did announce that you're doing it, but you don't know how you're implementing it. Then why did you announce you're doing it?
They might not be ready, but I see that point. They might not be ready to announce.
If I sat
more
here and I said,
details.
I'm getting married in December, I haven't met the girl yet, but I'm going to. Like, okay, sounds like a plan, Rich.
Is that how I got married in May? I'm
No.
getting married May 6th. I don't know who the fuck it is, but I love you, baby.
Listen, Mosby.
One game that I did want to get you guys' opinion about, and this is a strong exclusive that they're going to sell, is Sea of Thieves. Early 2018.
Again, that's not going to make it. No.
I think there's a conversation I might have missed between these two already discussing it.
No. But I know how much he was aware of it.
Okay.
Sea of Thieves, I want to get your opinion
on
what they showed with that demo.
All right, I'll start.
Okay. All right, Mo's going.
I saw.
We're getting him started.
I saw the pre-alpha footage, and when they first announced it, like without any gameplay, they were just showing the cinematic trailer last year. They showed that cinematic trailer, and there wasn't any gameplay. They didn't show anything of that, and I expected something else. I expected like swashbuckling and doing gritty stuff, making it like this feels like a fucking Minecraft game for pirates. Like, it's for kids. It's not that I don't like it. I hate it. I hate the way it looks, and it just doesn't sell me as me being a pirate, especially a fierce pirate.
But you can use a cannon to shoot your crew members onto the island. Did you see how
they were loading the gun, and he's like, bloop, bloop. It's looked like a fucking Nerf gun. You never had
an automatic musket back in the 1700s?
What's wrong with you, Mo? It looked like a fucking Nerf gun.
You're sheltered. You're sheltered, man.
So you're saying you're not going to purchase?
No. It's a basic. It sucks.
It's an Xbox exclusive, anyways. You're not buying that. So
no, that would have been the biggest disappointment if anybody gave a shit. That's the problem.
It looked terrible to me. I feel like if you're gonna do 4K and that's the game you're releasing for 4K, like it baffles my mind. I felt like I don't know. I would rather be playing Legos. Any Lego game, and they're not. I love the
Lego Batman.
I love Lego Batman. It's entertaining. It's funny.
What are you, the Joker? Was that Joker?
No, look at you, Rich.
Another inside joke with the line. All right, Mo. I can see you put your heart out there on Sea of Thieves. Rich, what was your impression?
I think he's got it covered. I knew it was hot garbage when I heard the concept, and I had seen probably not as much as Mo had been familiar with it, but they just confirmed. That was one of those I skipped right through that YouTube video.
Something I wasn't. I know there's been a lot of fan base into it. Again, the online forums that I've been reading, and everyone getting a little hyped up for Sea of Thieves.
I think that's all one big troll.
Probably. But Sea of Thieves means nothing to me right now we'll talk about this later, of what I saw at Ubisoft.
Yeah, exactly.
After what I saw at Ubisoft, fuck Sea of Thieves.
It's not a pirate game. Like, when I think of pirate, I think of a nitty-gritty, like...
Ubisoft.
Yes, that's what I think of, Ubisoft.
Which we'll get into later.
We'll get into that later, yeah.
Once I saw that, like, I do not give a shit. I didn't care, but right now Sea of Thieves means nothing. It is dead to me.
I can't believe I'm hearing this. I mean, there were skeletons with swords. They had hats that had the skull and crossbones on. I mean, what else do you guys want? You're a little highfalutin, I think, for the pirate culture.
I know that I felt like that was going to be the game that was going to be more adult-oriented.
It's a shared universe, man.
It's a Sea of Thieves cinematic universe. This is only game 1. When you get to game 6 and all of a sudden the ninjas show up, then you'll understand the beauty of this idea.
And so that is our take on the Xbox. So we'll just do a rundown. Mo is not getting the Xbox One X. He was up for grabs, Microsoft. No Battletoads. No purchase for Mo.
Where's the fucking Battletoads?
For Xbox One X. You had your chance. Phil Spencer, we hinted it towards you. I know you were one of the 100 people that watched us. When he said Battletoads, and you would have had one customer buy $500.
Maybe that's what happened at EA too, and they knew that we would talk about their presentation of how bad those other presenters were.
We didn't get that email, that call. And Rich said he's going PS4 Pro.
Yeah.
He's going for the PS4, and I am for that because I want Rich to have Batman Arkham, and he'll be Batman every night.
I want that too.
I want him and get the 30 Riddler, which you need to work on that on my game. You need to get those.
Yeah, what we get up to? I think we had double digits, but not too
You got up to
10
like
or 11.
low teens. I found like 3 when I played. This motherfucker knew where everything was hidden. I'm like,
played the other Arkham games, so I kind of knew what they're thinking.
Yeah, I knew where everything was. I'm like, dude, I found like 3 out of 30. And then me, because I am a fucking idiot, and I want 4K gaming that bad, and it was either PS4 Pro and the Xbox One X, and I would not pay $500 for it. And like I said earlier, I'm going to exchange my Xbox One, get at least $100 credit, and then get the 4K gaming, and
you're still overpaying.
I'm still taking in the ass with 400.
Well, I'm going to leave that alone, but you're still overpaying.
Forza 7 was announced again. Always get a race car to show off the great graphics. I'll probably get it for Sarah just to see
it looked
the 4K.
Impressive. That's the one game that I thought looked really impressive. I mean, I was like, wow, this looks good. Even Heather was like, wow, yeah, they really pay attention to those details on those cars. And I was like, oh.
But Microsoft, I think we can all agree, dropped the ball on the exclusives of what the Xbox One X can bring, and is it even worth it for people to jump? But we will have a conversation probably next week, as in who the fuck is really going to buy the Xbox One X. That is our take about the Microsoft press conference. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt about the conference. It is time to take the trip to Bethesda Land. And my initial reaction of the Bethesda press conference is short and sweet. It was a 40-minute, everything that releases in 2017, they made that a point. Everything you saw here is going to come out by the end of the year. Not going about, and they've always done that usually, is focus on what's happening this year. We know they have those big games. Would I wish to have seen Elder Scrolls 6? Yes. Would I wish to have seen the sci-fi game that team might be doing as well between Fallout and Elder Scrolls? Yes. But short and sweet. And it had the theme. And they kept that throughout the entire press conference. And it was fun.
It was fun.
It was unique with that's my initial reaction. What about you, Mo?
I enjoyed it. Like, once again, same thing from you, short and sweet. Like, they focused on this year. They didn't focus on... That's what I want to see, stuff that is up and coming, like, now. Like, what we're focused on this stuff. You already released Prey. You got all these games that you just released. What's next? And they were constant with it. And the one funny thing that I started noticing is, like, they did Bethesda Land, like a theme park, but all those games are super graphically, like,
that
guts and glory.
You don't have a Disneyland.
Yeah.
Fucking cool theme park to go to.
Yeah. Everything was, like, high octane, like, kill, behead people, blood, guts, and gore. I was like, this is a crazy...
What theme parks are you guys not going to?
What?
We had Lagoon when I was growing up, outside of Ogden, Utah. And there were some beheadings.
That's what I'm saying.
Roller coaster accidents.
The way that they marketed was funny to me, so I enjoyed it. So that's all I got.
What about you, Rich?
I agree. It was very Todd Howard, short and sweet.
Very But Todd Howard was nowhere to be seen.
That's not a bad thing.
No.
I like when these guys can get their ego out of the way and actually just put the games out.
He's busy with your...
Whatever, the Elder Scrolls 6 or that sci-fi game, whatever.
He's busy. He's busy with that. So just let's pretend he's working on it.
Whatever they're doing. And so that was our initial reaction. And Mo, what stood out to you the most?
Two things. Wolfenstein and The Evil Within. Because I bought The Evil Within. I thought they're bringing back that creepy, just hardcore storyline. I'm not a fan of horror games where you can't fight back, and The Evil Within was one, but in a psychological way as well. It's done really well on my aspect. I know a lot of people thought that it was a little too hard, but
you like those hard games.
Yeah.
You're into Dark Souls, Blood Rain.
Yeah.
The controller breaking games.
Not too difficult. I enjoyed it. We've actually, between Heather and I, this is just a joke that I'm going to share with you guys, is that she goes, oh, that's right around our anniversary for both games, because The Evil Within comes in first before Wolfenstein, but Wolfenstein releases like 2 weeks after.
Correct. The Evil Within 2 release date October 13th, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, October 27th.
So she said, that's what I'm going to get you for your anniversary presents, The Evil Within 2. And I go, great, because she likes to turn off all the lights and watch me scared shitless when I play games, because I yell like a little bitch, that's never going to be recorded, ever. And that's the reason why she's getting me and I'm getting her Wolfenstein. So
you should watch me play a Resident Evil in VR.
Well,
you want to see
I bet.
Yeah, the Flash, or what was the...
Farpoint.
Yeah, Farpoint. We can kind of...
Oh, yeah.
You did.
Freaking bike.
Oh, and the things jumped at my face.
One thing that did catch me off guard is Arcane Studios doing that side job with the Dishonored. I was not expecting that at all. I was like, wow. But, I was more impressed with The Evil Within and Wolfenstein. Wolfenstein was like...
trailer was interesting for The Evil Within 2. I never played the first one. I knew that they were working on the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
That was, again, I can tell that was more of the psychedelic, the psychological side of what that trailer was.
Yeah. It's a kind of... It has a Resident Evil feel, but just full horror. Just... That's it. But you can actually kill enemies, worth playing. I have it. You can borrow it, if you want to get into it.
I might so. What stood out to me was, if you've been watching prior episodes, I'm a huge VR fan, and I do hope that comes a PSVR. I have my doubts that it will. The 2 games they announced at the Bethesda press conference was Doom VFR and Fallout 4 VR. Fallout 4 I probably wouldn't get in VR, but the Doom one, it looks like that was specifically made in the VR. I was trying to see, like, was that the Doom game remake, or is that a side part?
I tried to find that out too.
Some parts look similar, some parts I couldn't really tell. But the way they changed the controls, as in, because that's a trouble with VR is with the locomotion. You might get dizzy, especially Doom is fucking fast.
Yeah.
Fallout 4 is a little slower pace,
Yeah.
and that's fine in VR. But Doom, if you're fucking moving all over the place, you're gonna be puking within 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Especially with Doom, and they changed the locomotion as you teleport to a location. They showed that, so that's why it's made specifically for VR. So if it's a completely different game, I hope it's on PSVR. I will fucking purchase that. But even if not, if it's just Oculus and Vive, I think that's fantastic that they're making those on VR. Fallout
it's a step forward, and you never know. Like, they can focus on the Oculus and Vive, and then maybe a year or a few months later, if they feel like they can release it on PS4 or not, even like the Xbox One X, that there's possibilities. Let's just put it like that, possibilities.
But Bethesda did announce, at another press conference, I'll get into another VR game that is Bethesda that I might be purchasing. Well, that will be at another press conference. That stood out to me. And Rich, what stood out to you?
I'd agree. Doom. That was. Yeah, that again, it's another one of those things that's selling that technology, because that's what you need to do. There is
this hardcore game, not fucking tech demos. How it came out, as in, oh, here's a little 10-minute here, 10-minute there. Even I consider Batman more of a tech demo than an actual game. Yeah. But the one thing I loved about it is they added those Riddler trophies. They have 30, as in you don't just play through the game an hour and a half, all right, you're done. No, there's replay value for each of those sections to try and find all the Riddler trophies. So that's one thing I really liked. And it was a very tight and amazing 90-minute experience for Batman. But now they added those, like Farpoint, that's a 5-6 hour game. Resident Evil, it wasn't made specifically for VR, but that's a full AAA game. Doom and Fallout, those are full VR experiences. Yeah. Than just little tech demos to play 20 minutes here and 20 minutes there.
I was impressed with the Fallout, the way they handle the guns, even though you don't see the arms or anything. But when you're looking VR, how when he put up the Pip-Boy and he was looking at it, I was like, okay, that would make sense. And then when he's reloading,
had the Farpoint too, don't they?
Yeah.
And then you had the gun, the reloading of the gun. You actually hear the clip and everything, doing it like you're actually holding it. So I want to see what that looks like in VR. It's really impressive to me. But
the cool thing of Farpoint, which I'm kind of upset that I found a way around it, that I was just hitting a bunch of buttons. But to change guns, you actually put the gun behind your back to draw out a new gun.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's how you find it. You have to put it behind you, as in you're putting it back and pull out a new gun to change. You have 2 different guns, but to change guns, you do that.
Yeah, one of the other games on the floor this year was really making a big deal about it.
Which was,
you don't get ammo. You just keep grabbing guns and stuff.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
With Farpoint, like one gun, it's infinite, but it can heat up, and other like shotgun you do get, but you hit the reload. But I found a fucking button that kind of ruined it for me that you can hit to change. The actual weapons, but that is part of the gameplay. Is you put it behind you to get a new gun, like fucking cool. That's a new way to
innovation.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah.
So that's so Doom,
and Wolfenstein.
Yeah,
the new Colossus. That was surprising how much I was attracted to that game.
Did any of you play the New Order?
That's why I was surprised by how much I liked
Heather has all the Wolfenstein games. So I've been watching her play. I'm gonna take hands on just to play myself. So yeah, but we have the what's it called, the second DLC one that they released, the New Blood or something like that.
I think so. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I didn't get the deal. I bought the game.
You get the original Wolfenstein on the New Blood, so that was included with that, which was really cool. I'm excited for Wolfenstein. I'm like, it looks like it's gonna be. It feels like a. What's his name? Like if he directed it, the guy from Kill Bill and then
Tarantino.
Yeah, it feels like he directed it.
Yeah, because he's in the wheelchair and he's missing his
Yeah,
legs.
he's still
shotgunning
capping
guys. Yeah.
The beginning of it looks so intense. I was like,
The
this
very
game looks like
familiar
hyper.
Frau doing
Mr.
Blazkowicz.
So it just looks good.
I loved the New Order, the first one. The one thing, just get through the first level. I have it. You can borrow it like you did Shadow Mortar. I have it on an Xbox.
Nice.
And get through the first level, and after that, it is incredible. It takes some time to warm up a little bit. After that first level, it's nonstop, incredible pace. And there's good sex scenes as well. Yeah. Excellent. He does some banging in there. But I've always been surprised by Bethesda first-person shooters. Wolfenstein: The New Order, I was very surprised. It wasn't on my radar. I got great reviews. I got incredible. Doom, I had such huge concerns for Doom last year.
Yeah,
that was probably my surprise of the year.
Yeah.
I was Doom.
I was just on the same boat too.
So I'm not going to count him out. My concern is the release date. Is Wolfenstein: The New Order, I believe, was a May release. They got out of that fall, October 27th. I don't know if Wolfenstein 2 is a big enough name to succeed in the fall. I am very concerned about that. I want it to do well, and that's why I'm concerned of having that release date. I'm not concerned that they're releasing two games, because they're two completely even within two and Wolfenstein.
So you're thinking Mindshare is the
two very different markets.
Two different, yeah.
So I'm not concerned about them.
But
I'm talking about
everything
with them.
else.
That's releasing the same day, we haven't talked about it yet, as Assassin's Creed. Wolfenstein 2, a week after Call of Duty, World War II. And again, is that the same market? No, it's first-person shooter, but there might not be. And Battlefront 2, November 17th.
Yeah.
I think they should have held off to that early 2018 bullshit, but the first one did great. They have a lot of confidence in it, so I love that. It's just every year a game is going to lose. A few games are going to lose out, and I'm afraid it might be Wolfenstein 2.
We'll see what happens. I mean, I am definitely on point with that too. They're two different genres, and I feel that it can get squashed. But then again, like if the reviews come out and something's bad, some people wait for reviews.
Yeah.
And the reviews come back bad for another game, then they may end up on top.
Right. Assassin's Creed Origins might be a fucking
you don't know
clusterfuck.
You don't know. It looks great. It looks great.
It looks
for now.
incredible.
It looks like a storyline, but
I won't be getting it day one, but I will be for sure be picking it because October 27th is a crazy day, which we'll get into why. But that's one big game released on October 27th, and another one which was my game of the year, was Dishonored 2. Mm-hmm. And they have that DLC. I'm not much into DLC, but it's Dishonored 2.
It looks so like they're just capitalizing on that storyline, and it looks so captivating. I was like, where's this coming from? This is cool. Like, Arcane Studios. All right, here we go.
So that stood out to me. I'm very curious how that is going to be, especially with the powers you'll be able to use. So Dishonored 2 Death of the Outsider DLC was announced. So that's what stood out to me. All right, so we're going to talk about disappointments. What was a disappointment, as in what was shown or what might not have been shown?
I wasn't disappointed with anything. That's what I expected from Bethesda. I didn't expect like a huge, ordeal thing. The one thing that I found interesting was the card game that they have for
Fable. No, fuck. I'm sorry.
Fable.
That's a different conference.
It is a Fable. But no, wasn't it
is it Gwent for the? No, that's something else. I have no idea what I'm fucking talking about.
But there was
keep naming things though.
All the fucking hardcore card
Pac-Man. Was it Pac-Man? Tetris? Was it Tetris?
Battletoads, right? A Battletoads card game.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it in 4. Yeah, you got it.
Wasn't it the Elder Scrolls? Don't they have a card game? They had a card game there that it's in there. And I was like, it looks interesting and fun. I've never played card games. I don't know.
Obviously, I don't either. I don't know.
That would have been that's something I would have overlooked immediately, but a lot of people play it. There's a market for it, and they didn't do. Last year, they did a bigger segment for that, and they shortened it for this one. So they just showed the video, and they're like, here, this is it. So you guys know that you're getting expansion. So no disappointments. I mean, that's it.
And Rich?
I would agree with Mo that there wasn't really any major misstep or anything like that. But I would have liked to hear something about the thing that's coming out that could be Fable, or you got
I got
Fallout 5 or
Elder Scrolls 6 or this new IP sci-fi.
Yeah, I want to see the unannounced IP would be nice, and also since we got Wolfenstein 2, I want a remake of Commander Keen since that's his grandson. So let's get the ball rolling. Come on.
That'd be interesting. I would love that.
Probably my disappointment is I'm okay and it was short and sweet, so their conference was tight. Again, they had it fast-paced, 40 minutes, in and out. Here's what we're doing in 07. I thought that was great. I just think you should mix a little bit of what's coming after 2017. That's okay to focus 2017, but you can say, all right, that's everything coming 2017, but and end it with
future.
And then focus on just do like 2 titles. Get me a little hard a little bit.
Just put a name out there. You don't even have to show gameplay. Just other companies got away with that. We'll get there. I'm not even complaining on that one. No, but it is one of those. I'm not hyped because there's nothing.
That probably would have got me like just fucking put Elder Scrolls 6. I would have fucking came in my pants. Just show the fucking title, Elder Scrolls 6. We all know you're making it. Just fucking show me, and I would fucking come, and I'd be sounding like, oh, all right, that was what I needed. But no, just show a title. Like we know you're making it. I know you're very proud. Let's show 2017, but do a little mix. At the very end, just do one quick little tease of a 2018 title, even beyond. But I would go 2018.
Just split with all the Marvel movies. You want Nick Fury to show up and
yeah. But overall, it was a very tight, short, and sweet press conference.
It's not that we can't say we're not excited for the games that are coming out this year. I mean, it is what it is.
But we also kind of knew what they were coming out with, so they didn't get what they
wasn't
needed
any
to.
surprises.
They didn't let us down, but they didn't shock us. But
yeah,
we got some meat on the bone there.
Yeah,
so.
like last week, I knew that they were gonna do like a Wolfenstein, and he even said the Evil Within, like they have to because the people they have a following for that now. So to follow up with a game like that, I'm like, this is super creepy. The little trailer, I got scared shitless when the fucking shadow came running at the face. I jumped. I'm sorry. I had the lights off. It just I think it was Heather actually. She did it on fucking purpose. She knew it was coming up. She turned off all the fucking lights, and I fucking jumped like a little bitch.
So is that going to be your first live play? Is you playing the Evil Within 2?
I don't know. I might do it. Don't want to, but if I have to.
So we can see Mo scream like a little bitch?
I played through the first one. I hated it. I didn't hate it. It was a good story, but I mean, I could do a live play, and then you guys could be like, this guy's a little bitch.
I just wanted to play Resident Evil 7, and like when something comes out of
it,
we're standing behind him and go like,
oh god! Yeah. You'll shit yourself in Resident Evil 7.
So let's do that at your house.
Yeah. It wouldn't be the first time you shot on my floor.
Well, there we go.
It's another story for another time.
You usually do have shitty parties.
Sorry,
no, they're actually fun.
That was well played. I deserve that one. Fuck, that was good. All right.
Guess who's not getting invited to this one?
Yeah, no rotation. No, not here. So that was our impressions of Bethesda Land and the Bethesda press conference. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt about the conference. Next up, we're going to talk about the Ubisoft press conference, initial reactions, and Rich, what was your initial reactions of Ubisoft?
It's interesting. It's okay all around. I think they had some missteps on some things. Again, I you said before, safe, or as I would say, lazy. The major problem with the live shot, that was completely uncalled for.
And we'll get into that as well. But I think that's the same meaning, what we're trying to say, with lazy and safe.
Yours is a more positive spin on it. Mine is, no, you know how to do this. I've seen you do it. Well, I don't know why you can't do it again. That's why I'm cynical about it.
Yeah.
And Mo, what was your initial?
I'm actually in the same boat. Say it was. I felt like there should have been more of a wow factor, and so it just wasn't there. So. Yeah, I mean, there was one key title there that excited me, and then the rest of them kind of were like, yeah, okay, I expect it.
I was actually impressed with their press conference. Their lineup. I think they have an incredible lineup of games. How they presented some of those could have been better.
Maybe that's what I'm going for. Like the presentation was
But which is what we're talking about is the press conference.
Yeah.
The presentation of how they presented it.
Yeah.
But I think some of their surprises, which I will get into, got me really excited, and more gameplay of certain games I'm already excited for, but wanted to see more because their list of games are incredible. For the next 6 months of games that they have is just non-stop games that I want to play, and I think they showed some great gameplay trailers as well. Not just cinematic trailers, but actual gameplay of those games that got me excited. One was a huge fucking misstep of a big game, which we'll get into. Fuck. Don't show anything outside the fucking room ever again.
Spoilers. Jeez.
Yeah. But we'll get into in detail. I know Rich and I will probably be one of our biggest disappointments. So I'll let Rich, because that's one of his favorite
I'm pretty
series.
sure I know where you're going with this. So.
But I'm still excited. I really loved their games and how they showed it. But again, absolutely, I agree. There's been some missteps. Could it have been better? Could they have knocked this? Could they? Might get a little ahead of ourselves. They could have easily won E3, and that might give away of they might still be our winner, but they could have made it hands down Ubisoft with their lineup that they have and that they shown.
And they had one of the greatest moments for the companies where you saw the potential if people are doing things the right way.
Yeah.
Which works for all of us,
Yeah.
fanboys and hardcore
and the big
Sims.
surprise at the end that everyone's been waiting for and been calling. Same thing with Metroid Prime 4. Every year, everyone has to do some guess, and we're always wrong. Same game, but we'll get into. So those are our initial reactions. We'll start with you, Rich. What was something that stood out to you the most at their press conference?
I was already at day one for Far Cry 5, but watching that stuff,
yes.
I'm even more excited.
Yes.
That really...
Good.
Yeah.
Really good.
And that's what I was talking about. Gameplay. Not a cinematic trailer. They actually showed a gameplay of natural
But it looked
section.
good. The way it was presented was good, which part of it is we're grading on a curve because of how bad it goes on later. But... And again, they were letting you know that we've given you some details, but then they throw in like, oh, and here's how the dog's going to work, and now you're going to have a sniper too, and then here's your air support that we showed in the last trailer.
Yes.
So you're like, okay, you're building slowly. You're letting me know that I don't know exactly everything to expect in this, that you're setting it, and how brutal that whole thing looked. When they're dragging the people and like baseball batting them in the back of the head, you were setting that stage.
So good. And then they also, like, the co-op.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, here's co-op. Here's two-player co-op,
Yeah.
storyline. It felt strategic. It felt good gunplay. It felt like it's smooth. Everything.
Far Cry has always been tight with the
it's
gunplay.
just-
It's
yeah,
But
always
it
been great.
showed they know their game, but they also know how to take it one step beyond, so
Yep.
they're constantly improving, as opposed to what we've...
Like
Not
Call
just
of Duty.
us, but-
Like Call of Duty. I'll
Well,
say it.
and let's be honest, Assassin's Creed has kind of gotten that reputation of it's just more of the same every year,
Yeah.
so...
I thought it was impressive.
Yeah.
Very impressive. I was happy.
Which I think it's a day one for
all of us. Yeah.
and come out on a date. It would be easy for me to do day one with February 27th. I think that's a great release day. I think I said last week. I think Horizon actually showed you can be very successful in the month of February.
Yes.
Yep.
And Far Cry 5, I think, will be as successful as Horizon with that date. That looked incredible. Even more excited for that game. And Mo.
I'm actually gonna say I'm gonna start with how they started it, and this may get a little bit. It's not as an emotional feel, but the Mario with the rabbits. Okay, they had Nintendo come out. He even said, "We've never cooperated with you guys because we saw you as a competition." And then they said, now it's not the time for that. We need to incorporate more third party. Applause, Nintendo.
Yep.
Good fucking step.
It was just 10 years overdue.
That's what's important to me as a keynote, as a gamer. That means a lot.
To eat that humble pie.
Yes. Humble. And then incorporate, and they're excited to be working with this on a title that Rabbids was never really part of something that they always used for, like, their Wii controllers or whatever controllers, live interaction. This is a different type of game. I'm excited for it. I love strategy games, and the way that they built on it and they incorporated both Mario and also the Rabbids was kind of innovative to me. Like I like the fact that they're using like the Mario world, but they're entering rabbits, and it has a storyline to it. You know that you're trying to save the world from the evil rabbits and whatever.
Well, and Nintendo gave up control. They let Ubisoft do the programming.
Exactly.
They gave them the IP. That was
for
good.
them to come out and actually shake hands, really big important keynote.
Which
And
is exactly what I've been complaining. I was looking for those
big
moments.
keynote, and it wasn't even based off of the Nintendo conference. This was on Ubisoft conference. Better, even better.
Which has been happening because they were on the Apple press conference, which was huge when they announced Super Mario Run last year.
Yeah.
Like, I think that might have been right off the bat they started it. But Miyamoto went on stage like, holy shit.
So I know that Ubisoft has a lot of great games coming out, but to me that was very humble and respectful in what they're looking for. That's what I wanted to see. That's what I expected. Did not see that coming at all. I did not.
We expected the game, but not the actual Miyamoto coming. Yeah. And actually said, I wanted them to make a Mario game that's never been made before.
Yeah.
Make that completely different. That was
innovation.
The challenge.
That for me, it pulled on my heartstrings a little bit. I was like, good. This is what I want from Nintendo. This is what needs to be done on their as a corporation and as a side, trying to bring in more developers. Important, really big important. So that was my biggest thing. It's a little bit out there, but out of all the games I can mention, like I just like that part in the press conference. That was my big end. So
I just think Other M set them back a few years. On it. They let Team Ninja have Metroid. Another, like, we want to work with you, and then how Other M just totally was botched.
Yeah, but the way that Sigma had done so bad.
Yeah.
They should have known, like, that studio was already having problems.
Yeah, and the fact that they're happy with what they're doing with Mario and Rabbids, and I mean, that shows a lot. And it looks promising to me. A lot of people may not buy into that. That's cool. But the strategy people that are out there, that are looking for strategy games, because there's not a lot of them out there, to tell you the truth. They're far and so few.
Yeah.
That markets to them, and there's a market for it. So
a different type of Mario game.
Got me.
Announced the release date August 29th. Yeah. It's coming very soon.
I will be buying that. That's a day one. Heather is like approved. She's like, this is different. This is something I want to play.
Which I give is something I won't purchase, but I give credit for them to come up with a new, different type of game. It's a strategy game, but I think strategy game there's a market.
If you ever want to try it, I'll let you borrow it because I'm getting it. I'm telling you right here, right now. So.
What stood out to me, which was my surprise, which is something I really enjoyed about these press conferences, I wasn't expecting it, was Skull and Bones. Is why Sea of Thieves is dead to me.
Yeah.
After I saw this trailer, about first 2 minutes into this trailer, like, Sea of Thieves, who?
Yeah.
As in, wow. Fall 2018 Skull and Bones. So this is the pirate game I would want to play. I know that, I guess the artistic direction isn't something we would want in Sea of Thieves. Because I know, like, it doesn't really interest me with that art direction that they're going with. It's that more fun, campy pirate. I want a fucking serious. Like, I didn't play Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I guess we'll get into that.
Mm-hmm. It started in 3 is where they first started playing.
Yeah.
Oh, 3?
4 is where it was really a main focal.
So 3 was like the test run. Oh shit, this is.
It shows that Ubisoft is basically paying attention to how those games were built, taking what they had for Black Flag, and then adding those ships and upgrades, and then you start putting something like that out. That was like, holy shit, I want this fucking game. Like, that's what it made me do.
They kind of do that. So, like, when you do some of the puzzles in Assassin's Creed, like 2 and 3 a little bit, where you're, especially 3, and there's a big emphasis in 4, where you're doing weird things, that's actually kind of the same mechanic that they do in Watch Dogs for the hacking. When you're trying to move the pipes around to make the circuit complete.
Yes.
That's kind of what they had already done in Assassin's Creed. So they tried out this whole thing. They were like, imagine that as a whole game. And that's what this is.
It pays off.
Yeah.
And the whole customization of the ship, I found to be exciting. I love customizing my own.
It makes it your own. Like, this is my ship. And
co-op,
did they
say
it was shared universe, or it was just co-op?
No, it was co-op only. I think because what they showed was 5 versus 5.
Okay.
They didn't want to show too much. They wanted to show you like the mechanics.
Because it's fall 2018. We have plenty of time. We'll see it again next year.
So.
But I like that blend, which is what I wish Bethesda did. The blend of games coming out this year and games coming out next year, and even beyond next year. Because the game that closed out, it will not be coming out 2018, more likely. But that got me really excited. It looks fantastic. It looks great. The art direction. I would want the strategy, and they talked about the strategies involved in that 5v5 and like the wins as well to set the sails of how to get away. Like that looks amazing. So that's my pirate game.
The one thing that I noticed from that game was the shanties, where some were from Black Flag as well. But I mean, those are original true shanties, anyways. So to incorporate that was just pretty cool. I was like, it made me feel like I was in that world. You know, it was good done on you. That I applaud that.
Great surprise, Skull and Bones. I know people are gonna say, "Oh, it's a Sea of Thieves ripoff," where they're going, but
no,
I think it's an Assassin's Creed ripoff, but done the right way.
It's Ubisoft,
but it's their property, so whatever. I'll play it, and I love the fact that it's 5 versus 5 as well. Well, what they showed on there, it was 5 versus 5, and you, depending on what ship you have, also changes the game. So
the strategy involved. I'm really excited. That was a great surprise, and that caught my attention. So it's disappointments at the press conference. Rich.
Assassin's Creed.
It looks so good on that the glary TV. That looked real 4K right there. So why, Rich? Why was it disappointing? This is a game you've been waiting for. Like we saw it at the Xbox.
I wish I'd seen some gameplay. I could actually give you an informed opinion, since I heard it looks awesome according to the presenter, but I couldn't see anything. I even went into my Eagle Vision, but I didn't pick up anything. I don't know. It's just me, I guess.
Holy shit! I can't believe they still went with that, knowing how glary that television was, that screen.
It was.
That's not even a film school kind of director's kind of fuck up. I don't know how that happens. I don't know how
that was senior high school. I don't even know. I don't know why you feel it needs to be live. Do pre-tape. I don't care. I just want to look good. It's a sales pitch.
Ooh,
when you're trying to do very targeted marketing, you don't do it off the hip unless you're very experienced, where you know how to do that. You know, like The Rock. He's cutting a promo. He's done it enough times that he can go out there and kind of do stuff. But he even has some jokes in his back pocket.
But when it's not written in his hand.
Exactly. But he's prepared, right? But you can't just, 30 seconds, hey, Mo, go out there and tell me why you hate John Cena. And you're like, I don't even know who John Cena is. Yeah. Well, I need you to talk for 5 minutes about why he's a douchebag. I'm going to beat him up. You're not selling anything. You're not getting the message across. And especially in a visual medium, if you can't fucking see, I don't know why I'm even having to have this statement.
And Assassin's Creed partnered with Microsoft to show off the 4K. So the Microsoft press conference, I don't think we did mention, because we're waiting for this.
Yeah.
So they did show it off, and they're promoting the Xbox One X with that 4K. So they did have the gameplay demo on the Microsoft.
But we couldn't. You can't. We brought it up before. You can't really see 4K. So
4K is not done very well in press conferences.
Yeah,
and you can't tell the difference. No.
So then I'll fall back on the other stuff. I like the setting. It really appeals to me. But storyline stuff, I don't really know too much, other than they're going to answer questions that none of us had. Like, we took it as just a game mechanic, the Eagle Vision. There's been hints here and there. I was never clamoring of, I need a whole game where I was told that one of my ancestors had a special bond with an actual eagle, and then something happens that has that imprinted on our entire genetic line. I don't need a game about that. You want me to assassinate the pharaoh? There you go. There's your idea. But this other stuff, you're going off the path. And if that's not what the focus of it is, then I shouldn't have 35 fucking minutes of gameplay of a drone. Because that's what the eagle is a drone. That's it. Anyways.
So if you didn't see the press conference, so they're showing Assassin's Creed, then they went in the outside of someone playing it, and they said, oh, it's on an Xbox One X.
You need a 3-person announce team.
Xbox One X playing it. And then about 30 seconds in, the motherfucker knew that this was looking shitty, and Richard brought it saying, don't worry about the glare. It looks amazing, even with the glare on the television, because you cannot
person I've never heard of before. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. Now I can take you at your word.
You cannot tell. Like, oh, it's on the Xbox One X. It looks like it was on the Xbox 360. I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. Oh, it's Xbox One X. Like, you could lie to me.
I thought it was PSP exclusive.
Yeah.
I was a guy on the fucking... PSP. That's guy 3 rows up on the fucking bus.
It could easily be done on a 360, and I would not have been able to know. I had no... I just saw a fucking eagle and a glare throughout the entire. So that was done terribly on a game, I think.
Well, especially when you're getting it's a very bright daylight setting, and it's supposed to have the light reflecting off of the sand, so it's already going to be kind of glary, even in pitch black conditions. And then you decide to go outside. Thank God there wasn't wind that day, because we wouldn't even be able to hear him tell me how awesome it looked. I wouldn't have had anything. You should just do these press conferences in Braille, and it'd be much easier. I could just, oh yeah, my ancestors, you're right. Fucking douchebags.
I think we're in the Assassin's Creed topic on that one. But will you still be purchasing it day one?
Probably, because I'm so invested in the IP, but I will tell you that was so poorly handled, and it seems like what we've complained about, and I've tried to be like, I hope they're not doing this. It does seem like more of the same. So it might not be a day one purchase. It'll be a purchase and I play it, but I might not pay full price. And I'm Mr. Yeah. I want the developer to have that because I know that's research and development costs for the next game. No, I might wait for a fucking sale or pick it up in the used bin, and I never purchase from the used bin, so.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed, they need to hit it out of the park with this game.
If 2 years off, and that's what you came back with?
2 years off.
They should take 2 years off of their press conference. Maybe they'll have a good fucking idea. Jesus.
Assassin's Creed Origins. We're excited. We're excited.
I can't wait. You know what? That's the best part. Because Aisha will come back maybe a year or two from now and be like, so, what happened while I was gone? And we'll all laugh. And then she'll be like, guess what? We're actually going to show you games. And we'll all laugh again. And then they'll actually maybe blow it out of the water. But we got to wait another fucking year for that opportunity. Thank you. Well done, Eve.
All right, and Mo, what were you most, as I come over on this side, what were you most disappointed about?
So, after Rich, I don't know what to follow up with. No, there was a few minor complaints from my side. One was the crew. I know some people were probably looking for that, but I felt like they should have had another announcer too. I wish Aisha Tyler did the whole thing, actually. Would have been probably handled better for announcing the actual games. The crew, I felt bored. I'm sorry.
Not what I expected from a rowing simulator, so that's awesome. The crew. But I'm trying to recover from my aneurysm I just experienced on air.
When they first announced the first crew game, I was like, okay, this is something I might look into. I might want to buy, want to purchase. Like, it was a maybe for me. This one, I'm just like, ooh, it just looks too bland.
It sold itself better to you, though, you were saying.
It sold itself to me. To you, but the crew had great potential. It didn't live up to its potential.
Yeah.
The original crew. And I thought when they announced the crew 2, I thought they were going to focus on that fix on what didn't work, on the potential that we promised with the original crew. But it got my attention. It's not my type of game, but it got my attention, got me more excited. And we actually, I bought the crew for Sarah, and she liked it.
Why is it called the crew?
Because you can be 4-player and you can drive across the U.S.
But I didn't see any of that in this one.
Well, this is... they had 4, but you weren't all in the same vehicle. You can have like 2 in a car, 2 in a...
No, but I thought it's the king of motorsports, not the kings.
That was one thing
the confusion of what the hell it is.
That kind of confused me. I was like,
because there was no gameplay; it was all cinematic. It was a cinematic trailer.
Yeah,
so you don't know what.
But that whole Doctor Strange Inception, the world's folding on itself.
Oh yeah. I just liked it that there's variety. You can be on a boat, you can be on a plane.
I just wanted to see the crew though. Where's the crew?
At the
like
very
this
end.
is my crew.
He had like 6 or 7 vehicles behind him. That's his crew.
That's his crew.
They were all color coded with the red, so obviously that's his
I thought those were all
colors.
against him.
No, at the very end.
Oh,
just because he's in front of them, you thought they were chasing him? No, that was a static shot. There was no blur lines. He was standing in front of them.
That and what they ended it with. I know that it was very emotional for them. What was it? Beyond Good and Evil.
Beyond Good and Evil 2.
Okay.
All right.
Anticipated game, nobody expected that, but the trailer...
Well, I think they gave up on it. I think it was another Last Guardian where the last 3 or 4 years they were waiting for it.
And that's what it felt like, and I was like, okay, well, the first one had a captivating kind of storyline. But where are they going with this one? And I did see some of the storyline of how do you have these humans with like rhinoceros heads and stuff like that, because there's a lab out there that's testing on people. But I don't know. Like, when there was no expecting that. Like, when do we expect that? Like,
well, as people that have played the first one, it's been a long time. I forgot.
15 years.
Yeah,
I forgot a lot of the story, and it's a prequel.
So
like I said last night,
set in a different solar system.
Yeah,
it's not Beyond Good and Evil. It should just be Good and Evil. And then when you play the sequel, which is the first release, then that's Beyond Good and Evil.
But they called it Beyond Good
Beyond.
and Evil 2, right?
Beyond.
It was Beyond Good and Evil 2. So why would you name it number 2?
No IGN references.
Oh,
there. No,
my bad.
So again, it was confusing. It's not number 2. It's prequel or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But,
so Beyond Good and Evil 0.
Hey, we'll go with that.
Why is it in a different universe? I don't get that.
I never played the first one. Have any of you played the first one?
I did, yes.
Was that on?
But Jade's not even.
Was it in all 3 systems?
It was.
I know it was on GameCube.
It did cross. I did play on PlayStation.
So it was PS2.
No,
Xbox.
I don't think it was on Xbox. I think it was on GameCube originally, and then I got transferred to PlayStation because they had a lot of the same coding software.
Okay.
Which is why you would see cross-pollination, or usually it would be on PlayStation 2 and it would migrate to GameCube.
Okay.
But Xbox was a different thing.
I just heard it has a cult following. That's all I know. It has a huge
very
cult
big.
following.
I could be wrong. Maybe I've got.
But I don't know if it's one of those games when it has a huge cult following, but when you actually go back and play it, like, what the fuck?
No, now it's one of those. It looks very dated and stuff.
Yeah.
But the humor was on point. The relationships, the writing was very good.
Yeah,
and the mechanics were good enough that it was interesting, but it wasn't groundbreaking.
It was a very emotional thing for the creators and everything, but I was very confused. I was like, okay, but they said it was a prequel, so why is it number 2? And then where's Jade? Like, that was my first.
She's not born yet, is what they said.
Yeah, so she's not born in that. But then I'm like, why call it 2 then?
Well, and here's the other thing. This is why I didn't bring it up, because it is one of those things I've been paying attention to for the last couple of years. He came out maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he flat out said, we're not going to be at E3. We don't have anything. So, hey, good job. You trolled us all. You surprised us. Yeah. Do you think that moment would have been any less special if we would have known it was coming? Because you still would feel, as a person, you still feel when he's thanking the team and all that kind of stuff and everybody's support, and it still gets through. It still gets to your heart. You don't need to have the whole, oh, I didn't see that coming, that's what brought the tears. No, you see the actual admiration and the care and the love he puts into his product. That's what was getting through you. And that's the shit that they don't have in these scripted and YouTuber fucking videos. That was a real moment. This other stuff is, I know, it is very interesting, isn't it, Steve?
Treehouse?
Line?
That's
Moe's Treehouse?
That's how I
Scripted.
That's why I hate it.
Yeah.
I was indifferent. I know a lot of people were excited to see that trailer, and fucking we'll see it.
But it was confusing, though.
We'll see it in 2019.
Pretty much.
We'll see you in 2019.
Because you don't have experience with the first one. You just see the trailer. What did you think that game is about when you were done watching those, 7 or 8 minutes?
There's a monkey and a pig. I think they have sex. And
no, seriously. What do you think is the story?
I have no idea.
They cross-pollinate.
They cross-pollinate, and then that's how a new breed came out. And then, so one side is the good and one side's the evil.
What's beyond?
Humans. We've evolved from pigs and monkeys.
Wow, that's a very elitist standpoint. I thought this was a safe space.
Hey, you said I went dark last week. Jeez.
My disappointment would be I wanted more South Park 2. I didn't want a trailer. I want to know why there was a delay. Not you don't need to explain why, but explain the purpose.
They put out some videos.
They did put out some videos, yeah.
But not in the conference, you're right.
Okay.
I think it was once you got out of the conference, the open.
Okay, on the show floor.
On the show floor, yeah.
Okay. We're just
Plus,
impressed
they
on
announced the mobile game, too.
South Park actually thought of you when South Park Phone Destroyer.
I'll probably play it, but when they start doing it's only $5 to buy 20 crystals. No, I'm done. Thank you.
But I don't have that much bad to say about the press conference. So I think that's me nitpicking of looking at, if I had to find something, which I was fine with the trailer. Because they showed last year the gameplay. That was now a year and a half before the game's released.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see some more. Because I'm still sort of sold on it. Not sure. I'll probably be sold once I hear from you guys with it. But I mean, nitpicking, which I would have saw a little bit from Solid. But again, with the pace that they had, I really enjoyed the press conference. Another surprise was Starlink Battle for Atlas.
That was...
I'm intrigued. I'm not sold like Skull and Bones. Skull and Bones is I'm fucking pumped.
Yeah, exactly.
But the Starlink, I'm intrigued.
Okay, so
How much money do you want to spend on this game?
that's the number one thing that I kept going to. We said, okay, it's innovative and different. It came out, he goes, we want to bring back the toy collection thing, but
They should call that macro transactions.
Yeah, how long is that going to run for, though? That's the same thing as like an
Well, and
Amiibo.
remember the Disney Infinity?
Yeah.
How that ran for 3 iterations of basically the same thing, and all of a sudden, like, they had just released it, and 2 months later, they're like, yeah, we're done, we're shuttering that whole division.
Yep.
Or Lego Dimensions is still going, but it's still the first game, it's expansion packs. It's been running for like 3 years now.
Yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
Spyro's kind of
all
done. Amiibos are still going, I guess, but it's a slightly different way it's integrated. So that's part of why it's not its own separate game.
Which I can see.
Which-
Indifferent.
It's still dumb though. It's
Which
DLC.
makes
that
me
you're buying.
ask these particular questions. Just thinking about those ships, I saw every single controller on there. Wasn't there? There was
Yeah.
the Xbox, PlayStation.
It's on all
the Switch.
systems.
So if
How does it even fit on the Switch though?
but if you had the game on the Switch and I had it on PlayStation, could I bring my ship
No.
over and it wouldn't integrate the same
Oh, your
way?
ship? Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe. But
like
your
if I
save
wanted to
files.
be like, I want to know how that ship runs before I even buy it. Can I bring that ship over to your house?
The
and have
way
you try
it's
it?
always worked, and I don't know for sure it's using the same thing, but the way it works is it's basically there's info, like the strip on your credit card or the chip kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's universal information, but the base is coded for that thing. So if I have the base for Xbox, you got it for PlayStation, you build up your character, your ship or whatever, and you bring the ship over, then you put it on my base or my controller, and it just reads the info that's saved on your little smart device, and then it says, oh, well, Mo's a level 50, whatever.
It can be a complete bomb, which
Yeah.
it can go both ways. It can be an interesting experience. I'm just a little intrigued. Want to know more? Another game I'm intrigued is Transference VR.
Okay, that game.
Who knows what the fuck it is? I'm intrigued.
When you said
Wait.
that, I was like, exactly.
Are we even here? Or maybe we're in the game?
Are you
Are you
watching
sure?
this?
No, we're in there.
Are you watching this?
That's
I'm in there watching me.
yeah.
If I had hair, I'd fall out right now.
Again, intrigued.
That's weird. I can feel it.
Intrigued.
That's how good this is. I can actually feel that.
Shit, he's actually bald.
And if I were Steve, I'd make it other than that. Oh my god, he is actually bald.
Rich knows.
Yeah.
I know. Let's clarify. Rich does not know. Rich, from his sense of humor, assumes.
Yeah,
But Rich
knows
does not,
I'm
has
very
not
bushy
verified.
right now. Rich knows I'm very bushy right now. And that's a fact he does know.
He's my Merkin donor.
I was just, I mean, that's where the game was going, right?
Hey, Rich said he needed some hair, and I'm his
I
supplier.
was just checking.
No. Listen, everybody that's actually met you knows that those are hair plugs
That's it.
on your balls.
That is correct. That is correct.
Oh, I'm dying. Holy shit.
You down with that hair plug?
I'm
As Mo died.
Mitch, why the fuck would you say something like that when I'm drinking alcohol?
Because that's the only way that we can take that kind of knowledge.
You motherfuckers drinking alcohol during this?
I'm not.
You do this sober?
What?
I'm still not convinced we're here, so I don't know what you're talking about. I wouldn't hang out with people that are telling me that I have hair plugs on my balls. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you guys. This is bad coding.
No, it was a great time at the doctor. Like, oh, you want hair plugs? Yeah, on my balls. Okay. Well, we can do that for you. So that was a great meeting with my doctor for that.
I just want like the hammer. Just do the to implant each little seed. Chia. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Those were our impressions of the Ubisoft.
That was my impression of the commercial. Yeah, that's right.
Of the chia and hair plugs on my balls.
It's a better demonstration than we got for Assassin's Creed.
The fucking glare. God damn it. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt about the Ubisoft press conference. We are finally at the last press conference, official press conference.
Yeah, I'm doing the math in my head.
I was like,
You forgot one.
An actual press conference. The Sony, the last one, Monday night. And Mo, you love your PlayStation. I love PlayStation. I think we all love PlayStation in some way. But what was your initial reaction of the Sony press conference?
They did the same thing that they did last year, and I just feel that's the way to go for them. I
What was that?
just
Safe.
besides safe, they showed their games.
Yeah.
They showed what they're
Less
paying.
talking.
They didn't
Those
announce
two.
anything though as like available now in the store or anything. That was a move backwards, but
Yeah, no,
it's all right.
Yeah, but you know,
They're still ahead.
they still got some stuff coming out for this year. I believe that they announced. I don't see them doing any wrong with what they did now. I mean, they showcased some gameplay that which we'll get into a little bit later. That what I was impressed with on their exclusives being the big part. You know, I liked it. I at the end of it, I did feel like they could have showed a little bit more though. For some reason, I felt like it left me wanting more. One or two.
Good thing, for better or for worse.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily negative, but you know.
My initial reaction of it was, and I actually I had to think about it afterwards. My initial reaction as what is coming out this year. I was very surprised with some of their release dates. We'll get into more detail later about some of their release dates, as in I thought they would have more for 2017, because based off what they showed last year, like, all right, you can have a year and a half to get to the fall.
Yeah.
But me thinking about it, as in, I think Sony, and they've been doing this for a while, has actually changed how you make release dates for your games. Because they have so many big games, and usually it's always been, you have some games through the year, but in the past, you have those big games October, November, some in September, and the big fall games. It's always been the Halos, all that, like Microsoft, all that. And Sony was that before, I would say PS2 and maybe in some PS3.
Yeah.
But now they've changed the release schedule.
Trying to get year round.
Year round.
Yeah.
So that's when I took a step back. Because I was like, what the fuck? No, 2017. They did this last year. Last year they didn't have very many exclusives. They had The Last Guardian, and I think they had another big exclusive, but that was it. I took a step back and realized, like, they are year round. Like, they don't need to always have that big, and that was been in my mind, as in, it's always been engraved for the last 10 years, as in, if you're Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, you always have to have at least 3 big titles in the fall.
Yeah.
First party titles.
Yeah.
But the way Sony has strategized, as they created actual partnerships, it actually feels like it's a PlayStation game when it's not, which we'll get into, because I'm actually curious what you think about one of them that's gotten some negative feedback from some of the players about it. But that was my initial reaction, as in, I think they're changing the way press conferences should be.
Yeah.
I think, I forgot the guy's name at Sony. He came out twice.
Yeah, I always forget his name too.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah. He came out twice, just talk, and then
He's
just, they let the games do the talking.
He did like the one important announcement. Okay, well, this is how we want to start our press conference. 2 big games. Here's the rest of something that we're focusing on. And he talked about VR real quick.
Yep.
He did like the big the small announcement about VR, and then he came back out with, we like to end the segment with this.
Roller coaster, and then
roller coaster. And
so
then
that was my initial reaction, as in, just keep doing what you're doing. I'm kind of disappointed about the exclusives for this year, but they have ways to fill in those gaps.
Yeah.
What about
You've
you?
already
Rich?
had exclusives this year, so you're thinking that previous mindset. They've already kind of hit
Exactly.
half of those.
They've
so
Yeah.
And I'll get into like Horizon toward the end when we go balls deep about what I think about fucking Horizon, and damn,
yeah.
we'll get into that. But Rich, what was your reaction?
Like I said, this is actually kind of what I wanted Microsoft to do, and Sony's been doing this for the past couple of years. So I'd be dumb to say I want that, and somebody's providing it, and me go, yeah, but I'm still not going to buy in. That's where I said Microsoft dropped the ball. Sony's been carrying it very stable condition for the past couple of years. So my next big purchase is going to be PlayStation 4 Pro.
And Sony just announced 60.4 million PS4s sold worldwide. Hit that 60.4 million. So congrats to Sony. You deserve it. You've been rocking it with this generation. And Mo, what was... And there's probably a few. There's a lot. What stood out to you, or what several things stood out to you?
Days Gone. Starting with that. Because that was like the third game that they announced.
It was.
So they actually showcased that how their world is different. This is what one of my main concerns was, how that world is different from The Last of Us. Because they're both kind of zombie-based, but kind of not. Because, they have different meanings.
Yeah, The Last of Us is a lot more story.
Right, sort of. But in this one, for Days Gone, they showed that the animals are actually zombies too. Like the wolves, the whole thing. And they can be infected.
Did it end with a bear?
Being a zombie.
At the end? Like a zombie bear?
Yeah. So I was like really impressed by that. I was like, not only is people becoming zombies, but also the wildlife. So how do you hunt and kill something that is going to be okay for you to eat? Like, it just started to open my mind. My head was kind of blown. Like, it's going to be kind of a really big fucked up situation. Yeah. And the way that you start out in one of the camps, I wanted to see one of the camps, just like even from the outside view, they didn't show too much, and how you go into the open world and how you can still get randomly attacked by people, or even like you get a randomly, the first encounter was like the wolves that start chasing you on your bike and how fast they are, and they're zombie wolves and they're hungry for your flesh. And he blew him in the face with a shotgun. I was like, holy shit, like...
No, I'm hungry for your flesh.
Oh, gosh. But I thought that was really impressive. I was like, this is a game I want to buy into. I was already sold. And the storyline, I know it's going to be deep. It looks like they're taking a good direction with that.
Were you sold based off the demo from last year?
No.
Okay, so this helped you sell
because all I saw was zombies, and it was impressive that they have so many zombies on screen at once. But I want to see storyline too, because there's no point if it has a shitty storyline, and But the writing seems to be going in the right direction, and the world around is kind of selling me on it too.
I was the same. I was not sold last year. It was more World War Z. Like all these fucking
that's
running
what I thought.
through. I'm like, that just looks fucking chaos. But with this demo that they showed of how you can fuck with other humans, like as you set that trap and all those zombies came running into them, like that is fucking cool of how you can fuck with people.
Yeah, it's just it's different. It's really different.
But there's no release date.
No release date. No.
But other games, every single game that they showed, they said 2018, but that had nothing. I was very surprised. Do you think that has a chance for 2019 then?
Maybe they're waiting for the PlayStation later in September or October, the PlayStation
PSX
conference.
in December?
Yeah. That's what I think a lot of their problem is. They're spreading it out because they know that E3 is not what we want it to be or what it used to be.
So
there's a different news cycle that goes on now, especially because of YouTube, the internet, all that kind of stuff. And
so it's probably going to be slated for next year. Well, my feelings, because with what they had in the mechanics
announcement for PSX.
But they want to save it for that.
Which I love.
It's the way to do it. They showed you something new that nobody else is doing. They showed you some mechanics. They showed you a little bit of the world. They show you how you get around. Because we knew that he had a motorcycle, but what else is there? Like riding through the fields and everything, and you have to make stops. They force you to get off the bike because you can't do everything on your bike. Show you some of the mechanics that happens while you're on your bike, and even if you noticed, the guys that try to assault him, when they stop him, they weren't one of them screaming for help, and they turned out to be bandits. Wasn't that one of the big things? And they stop and they start jumping him, and that turns into its own sequence. That was impressive to me. I like seeing that stuff. It reminded me of Red Dead Redemption.
Yeah.
Like that separate stuff.
Yeah.
It integrate into that world. And it could happen. And
so next year will be a zombie year for State of Decay 2 and possibly Days Gone.
Yeah, possibly. The biggest thing that I loved was Monster Hunter. I was
waiting. I was trying to set up a softball pitch for you, Mo.
I lost my shit. I lost it. I was fucking screaming, this can't be Monster Hunter. They brought it back. Oh my god. Monster Hunter this. Oh, it has to be. And then when they finally showed the dinosaurs and then the dragon, I'm like, this has to be it. So in the pterodactyl, I was like, this is it. And then Capcom comes out, Monster Hunter World. I was like, day one, for sure. Like, I'm already sold. Heather saw me screaming on top of my lungs. I was yelling at the TV, like, you goddamn Capcom motherfuckers, it's about time. That was me. I'm sorry. But I'm excited. That's my overall top.
What did you think of the trailer, though? for a non-Monster Hunter fanatic.
I've seen for all those things that they showcased, you can do. For one, that was integrated into the very first game that was on PlayStation 2 when it first released. The cooking, everything, all that's in there. Everything that you saw in there, the hunting of the each dinosaur that you hunt is for your armor, because you build armor out of their bones. And the dragons...
You do weapons and stuff, too.
Weapons, too, yeah. Because if you saw his weapon, it had fangs on it. Yeah. It was based off of whatever you hunted before.
Like a jawbone.
And you get to select a class, and you get to build these weapons based on whatever class you want to be. It was to the T. So if you're looking at this, you're like, okay, but it's kind of open world. It is open world like that. You go into the next map, and then it's just open for you to hunt. It's awesome. I'm really excited.
I know you'd be excited for that.
Yeah.
I was very happy for you when I saw it.
I was super happy. I was like,
you don't have to buy it on the Switch, the Monster Hunter XX.
No, even if it was on the Switch, I would have. I know that they're doing the XX, but they always release it on the DS, and I don't think that's where the capabilities lie for that IP. I think the Switch could be a great buy, and I'll look into the Switch one too. I would still actually
love your Monster Hunter. I heard it's huge. It's huge overseas.
Yeah. It's a great IP. I loved it. I enjoyed it. So
TGS, it's always one of the biggest.
So yeah, Tokyo Game Show. Yeah. So I wanna invest. I'm happy for that.
So there's the two things that stood out to you. Probably Sony's so big. There's probably two things that really stood out. My first one would be God of War. And I'm glad because last year that demo was interesting. It got us excited to introduce God of War, but everyone thought it would be
escort mission.
An escort mission throughout.
And we all hated Resident Evil 4.
And I called it.
That was the weakest part. Resident Evil.
I called it. I said it wasn't going to be an escort mission. It was not. I called it from the very beginning.
And with that fucking huge ass serpent at the end, their friend, and then the son can actually speak the language and know.
Yeah.
And they showed some because God of War is very action oriented, and God of War 3 is one of my favorite action games of all time. I know we talked about in a previous episode how incredible God of War 3 was.
Yeah.
Just with the action, the smooth, the graphics, they got it perfected on the third one, and then all the gods that you fight. And I'm glad they're changing it up. Again, with the camera view, the action, it still looks...
Well, we got the Norse gods now, too.
The Norse gods. And they even talked about it a little bit.
Yeah. I'm glad the combat looks similar, but not. So I kind of like that they're changing it up a little bit. It doesn't look as fast.
It looks like in your face.
Yes.
Like it's very polished, within, looking at it directly in your face. I love it.
Which after 4 God of War games of the same camera, the camera placement, the same type of gameplay, I was ready for a change. And it said early 2018. I'm willing to bet a lot of money it's going to be March 2018. The reason why is every single console God of War, the first one came out March 2005, second one March 2007, the third one March 2010, and Ascension was March 2013. So it'll be 5 years later, all 4 of them released in March, and that's why Sony, I don't know why I didn't think about this during my predictions. I said God of War October, as in Sony does fantastic throughout the entire year, especially with their first party titles that they have, that huge catalog. You can't just put them all in the fall. So God of War is going to be great placement, and because they have that relationship with Far Cry 5 already with Sony. So they have that February, and then they have that in March with God of War. So God of War looked great. That's a day one. I'm fucking ecstatic.
The one thing I want to point out is also they had a little bit of snippets from the previous God of Wars, where they had the Greek vase, and they talk about that. If you didn't pay attention to it, but there is a Greek vase, and they're talking about Kratos in his past, and he's the witch. I don't know if she's a witch or not. It looks like a witch. Is telling him that he needs to be a father and tell his son about his past, and he goes, "There's nothing to do with my past," and he's like, "He doesn't know. You need to explain to him," because he's starting to get these godly things. And when I saw that trailer, I was like, "Please." Yes, that is good story writing. Explain that.
And explains him. He's not powerful. He's not a warrior, but he can speak the serpent tongue and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So, that was a big thing that I paid attention to.
The second one that stood out to me, the second game, last year we got a more cinematic trailer of what this game could be, but this one actually gave me more of a sense, was Detroit Become Human.
Oh,
And I just loved how they showed that, of all the different choices that you can make and the different game experience. If all three of us play, it's going to be three very different game experiences. I hope it lives up to that potential, though. I played that before, called Quantum Break.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh. I believe that's what it was, Quantum Break.
Yeah.
As in, they had that promise, as in whatever you choose before, it's going to change the TV episode, and it worked, but it did not live up to the promise as what they thought it would be. As in, I did not really have a big effect. If I choose two different choices at the end of a chapter,
and your character's barely in the TV show, it's basically the other ones who aren't even main characters.
It changes. So this one, I hope it lives up to that potential.
Yeah.
And the studio that is doing Detroit Become Human, I believe in.
I believe in too. Oh.
And I think that's going to be incredible. And I got more to see. I thought it looked great, but it's cinematic. We'll see what the actual game they showed gave me an idea. I don't think they had a release date, maybe 2018. I don't know if they did.
I didn't see any,
but that got me excited.
They're pushing the envelope from Heavy Rain.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. And if they...
I loved Heavy Rain.
Me too. It was a great storytelling game, and even Rich would appreciate something like that too. I like that. Yeah, I mean, but...
And Fahrenheit, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way that they're able to captivate that storyline and put kind of some control to the player. It's something that's not really done very much. You get choices in that adventure, but this changes the whole outcome of what happens.
Correct. This trailer gave me a very clear idea of what choices I make will affect the entire game world and affect the actual story and have an actual effect.
Exactly.
Of what you do.
And you get to see those effects, like, right there and then.
And I actually hope it's a short. I hope it's like a tight 5-6 hour, which is what Heavy Rain is.
Yeah.
Have a tight...
But there were so many different...
Exactly. Have a tight 5 to 6 hours, so it'll make me want to replay it
you
2 or 3 times.
If you go through all 23 endings.
Correct.
Stuff, yeah.
Because it's not going to be, it's going to be like The Witcher has so many gaming, but they're similar but not.
Yeah.
Like this have drastic endings. Even there's like 5 different drastic endings of what I choose. Because Heavy Rain, if someone dies, like they're dead.
Yeah, they're gone. You
Like,
can't even,
they're not coming back. It's part of the story now.
And then it changes to the actual story, the ending, and everything.
Yeah.
So.
Spoiler alert: if you haven't played Heavy Rain, it's incredible.
6-year-old game. Sorry.
Yeah.
You know what though? I'm just gonna put this out there, and you do not have to have 4K to play this game, and it's gonna look amazing. Like it already, you can see that it didn't say that it was running on 4K native. It was running on.
Well, they didn't have a new console that they're trying to hype up for $500.
It still looks incredible.
Yeah.
It looks incredible.
So those are my 2 games that stood out to me. And Rich, what about you?
Spider-Man.
There we go. Spider-Man. Enough fucking said.
Spider-Man.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
That is how you do a fucking trailer and game demo.
And how you end a segment. That was nobody was expecting.
It was good for their conference, but also fans of the character, fans of the movies. You know, it was hitting every single thing they needed. We got Miles in there. We got Mr. Negative, who we haven't really seen and stuff before. Yeah. You got gameplay, which was innovative, yet it still looked like they had learned things from like Batman Arkham series, but they were still more tactical because you didn't have web shooters and stuff.
Insomniac?
Insomniac.
Insomniac is doing it.
And Fisk was also in
and
there
Osborn, one of his billboards gets blown up. Yeah,
you see all the mentions of all those
they were covering everything. No matter what kind of Spider-Man fan you are, and then what kind of gaming fan you are, they had you covered. I thought that was just well done all around. And yeah, there's a lot of flash events, but it doesn't matter if they're integrated right and there's not like a stutter in between.
Yeah, and it looked like it was
right part. What he said.
Well, did you notice how the spider sense was working?
Yeah.
When you started going and they got like the worker in that building, and he's looking around, and then you see it kind of flash where he ends up web swinging up, and that's when you see that flash event start. That's your spider sense buzzing to be like, go to the right, kind of thing. So you're using the HUD, but you don't have like an indicator or a mini map. It was one of those like, no, my natural Spider-Man abilities tell me I need to go over here, and lo and behold, here's 6 guys I got to take down with my web shooters.
So exactly what I was pointing out is on that stutter from the events.
Yeah.
How it transitions from real time to event back to real time in the open world.
Yeah.
And sends you into chasing this freaking helicopter all around the town. That is the integration of going from point A to point B to point C.
Yep.
Was done so smoothly that it blew my fucking mind away. I was just like, this is a Spider-Man game that I've been waiting for. Right?
That entire demo blew me
Yeah.
away. Like,
Yeah,
that's how you fucking do it. And then I'm okay that Last of Us 2 didn't show up.
No, I was fine with it too.
That's their closer for PlayStation Experience.
PSX, yeah.
Yeah. And have the Spider-Man. And Sony, I give you a lot of credit that my wife actually wants to fucking see this trailer. Before the Sony conference even started, she asked me, how is Spider-Man? Because we were watching like a pre-show, and I showed her, oh, Spider-Man, like, that looks great. And she actually proactively asked me, how was the Spider-Man conference? And she's like, I'm going to look it up on YouTube, because I told her it's amazing. And she actually cares about wanting to see this, which makes me a little hard and got me a little excited. And I wanted to make sweet love to her. But
he couldn't because he's Steve. Oh, right there. Don't stutter on your line, sir. My bad.
And with Spider-Man, with how much open world do you think it is, or how do you think that was just?
It felt like, I don't know. I from what I've read, it was going to be like fully open world, wasn't it? Like they have in the original.
I don't want it to be too
editions.
much because there was a lot of times where that was just busy work.
Yeah.
Or the random events repeated so often. Like, like Red Dead, there would be some things that would repeat.
Yeah.
But there were ones where that is not going to repeat. It was usually the ambushes would repeat, but you saved a drifter and they actually were a victim. They weren't trying to ambush you. That's a one-time thing. You save them or you don't, and then you're done.
As you're playing Horizon,
Yeah.
they did the same thing.
Okay.
There's not a lot of repeats, but
With the side quests?
with the side quest. So if they integrate that type of open world into Spider-Man with that, where like some of them it is important that you do interaction, that will be a great game.
Well, we got to see how Miles fits in there because
Yeah.
you didn't put him in that trailer
Just
to call
for
out
bullshit.
Miles Morales.
Yeah.
There's got to be something about maybe Spider-Man
Yeah.
dies and it gets replaced, or maybe now there's 2 Spider-Men and you do co-op, or
Yeah.
there's all kinds of stuff that they could
Can you
easily
imagine that? So
play in there.
I don't know if it can handle, but that might be something.
But that was in the start of the
sequel.
comics. He was showing Miles Morales how to be Spider-Man, and
Well, in the new continuity,
Yeah,
the Ultimate Universe,
the
Peter's
Ultimate.
already dead.
yeah, where we're going with that. But you never know. There's
Obviously,
so many
issue
possibilities.
42, clearly that. Sorry.
There's so many possibilities.
Absolutely, Spider-Man got us all excited.
Hyped. Yeah.
Is there a second thing that stood out, or you just Spider-Man enough said?
Spider-Man was enough of a
Yeah.
breakthrough, but like I said, they did a good enough job of throwing stuff out there that was quality. They were on point. They didn't bore me. They were wall to wall. We'll get to the disappointments because there are some disappointments.
Yeah,
So my one follow-up would be Undertale, which is not exclusive, but it is new to consoles. That's exactly what I expected from the Xbox Arcade, which doesn't exist anymore.
It's Undertale.
And it's also going to
What
it's
is
also
that?
going
I'm
to tie
sorry.
into my disappointment. But
What is Undertale?
It's a independent RPG, but it's somewhat connected to the Earthbound universe from the old NES days.
Yeah.
So it's a possible sequel, but it's not necessarily tied in because they don't own the IP. But there's things that lead you to believe that it's a unofficial sequel to it, and it's just an inventive RPG where there's so many different ways that it can go, and it's the old school, like the original Final Fantasy kind of stuff is how a lot of it's set up. They play with that mechanic a little bit, but the storytelling especially. When you get to the end and you kind of realize, like, the way I was playing the game was exactly the point they were trying to teach me that I shouldn't be that way, and you spent the whole time, and then you go back and play it the other way, and you're like, oh, fuck. I thought I was the savior because I was destroying all the monsters. I was supposed to save all the monsters because they were all victims.
You asshole.
That was fucking awesome.
You asshole.
And the game's been out for, like, 8 years. What the fuck, man?
Like Braid.
It's like it's one of the number one Let's Plays on YouTube is people doing walkthroughs of Undertale. So,
All right, Enmo, what was your disappointment for the Sony press conference?
It's not such a big disappointment, but it is there. some of the key titles for the VR that they showcased, I felt they could have shown a little bit more of an extended show. I did see one of the games that they're going to use for the gun. Did you see that?
Bravo Team?
Yeah, Bravo Team. That was one of the games that I saw utilizing the gun a lot. But I wanted to see more. I want to see somebody actually using the actual gun for that game. I mean, it would make perfect sense. I wanted some explanation on some of the VR mechanics that they were putting on for some of those games. That would be my disappointment right there. And I'm not a VR owner. This is just from
No, but
outlook
understanding what they're trying to do
Yeah.
could be a sales point.
outlook perspective, because if I'm supposed to, he has a VR, I don't have one, but this is stuff that I would think of if I was an owner.
No, but I'll be honest. I'm interested in VR, but what I'm seeing is the trend is the cheap heat kind of way of doing things is they do a lot of horror games because feeling like you're in that world and there's a jump scare, it's an easy way to sell immersion, but it's sloppy immersion. It's cheap, lazy immersion.
It is. I didn't see very horror games for the PlayStation VR at all.
It was announced Paranormal Activity. It was already released, but they're working on it for PSVR. I'm actually really excited, but that's that cheap. So Paranormal Activity is that cheap.
But
Resident Evil is not. That's the actual
that's-
game, but Paranormal Activity is that. I'm putting in a house. Let's do some cheap scares, which I'm excited for. I want, but it is like that tech demo. Let's get that cheap.
So I was excited to see action games for VR, but then I wanted to see how they're integrated. Like, I don't want to say, how some people, you just bought the gun. Show that. Bravo Team, I want to see somebody actually utilizing, saying, oh, you used the gun for this. Look, blah, 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 blah. So that's what I wanted to see, and I didn't see that. So that was probably my disappointment was for the VR crowd, because I know people purchased it. And it's great that
think about me, Mo.
they are. I mean, they're focusing on the VR titles, but I want to see them show it off, show it off completely, so people are sold on it. So yeah.
And that was actually my disappointment. And I'm a huge VR. I'm on board 100% VR. I love my PSVR, but I was a little disappointed in what they did show. I got really excited when they showed the VR helmet. I got really excited. Like, oh my god, here it is. I'm ready. This is what I'm waiting for. What games am I going to get next after Farpoint? They did show The Impatient. That was more of I think the cheap scare. I think The Impatient. Let's put you in a scary situation.
Yeah, in the mental hospital. I forgot about that.
Yeah,
but it may have a good story.
It got me excited. Something I would pick up. Bravo Team, because I played Farpoint and I know what that gun is capable of doing in a game.
Yeah.
I am ready to use that in a different game. I think Bravo Team would be great. But the only thing, like Star Child, I don't know what that would do in a VR.
Didn't it seem like it was like side scrolling, and then it goes into, because the robot picked it up, and are you putting it on, and then now you're the robot? We need to see more of that game. What is that?
Has it attached to the headset?
I have played. I know on the demo they have a third-person perspective where you actually see the entire land, and it's more of a point and click of where you walk, but you can see the entire land, and it's all in 3D in the VR virtual world. And there's another one on their PlayStation disc as well, which is another third party. You can jump around. So seeing that potential, what it can be. But I just didn't see that in Star Child and Across. But it can work if you see your character. Because you can see the entire world of what's going to be happening. But I didn't get excited. Final Fantasy 15, Monsters of the Deep.
Yeah, that was a little awkward for me. I was like, what?
It was
Everybody loves to fish.
It was a demo.
It was a demo, yeah.
It was a demo of what they can do.
I think that's the same as the Lynx crossbow training.
Which was sold. It was $20, I believe. Or wait, because I actually bought...
I think it was 40, wasn't it? Because it was the
with
attachment and
the attachment, so I didn't get a link. But
I remember we were all thinking Zelda was coming out, and that was like wait 6 more months.
Skyrim VR. I am not sure if I want to get that in VR, because I'm actually afraid that I might never come back.
So, just to touch base on your little Skyrim VR, just so you know, you can add mods to the PlayStation Skyrim VR.
Yeah, but they're still moderated mods.
Yeah, but it's still...
The fun mods you can't really enjoy.
There's still
There's
some...
no Macho Man dragons in there, that's all I'm saying.
No, but there's still some really good mods out there for that game, even for PlayStation. Some stuff that will big vast improvements on your gameplay.
No, I'm actually
Just so you know.
terrified that I.
So so you might get lost. I don't know. I'll have to come in and
I
unplug
won't come
you.
back. I will be in the matrix. I'll be jacked in and never come back. I love the Elder Scrolls. I always believe you're either Elder Scrolls or Fallout. Like you're like pro one. You can like them both. I enjoy them both, but you're one like you love one over the other. And I love Elder Scrolls, Oblivion and Skyrim, and I love VR and putting that in Skyrim. I'm happy it's on the Switch. That's fantastic, but I'm not gonna play it or the enhanced edition that they did, the special edition they did last year on the PS1 and PS4 and Xbox One. But put it in VR. That's a game changer to me, and I'm thankful for my own sake and my own safety that I might not buy it, but I'm glad that's coming to PSVR for Skyrim. But with that, I expected more. Some more titles
For the VR.
to get more excited for VR, but I'm glad they actually had a section for it, because if it didn't, then I would.
Yeah, they could have just done the game floor and said, "Oh, you have to experience it."
Yeah, but to show it that they are backed, they're backing behind it. They're like, "Oh, we released this, and we'll see what happens."
And we don't know if there's some more surprises to come
Yeah.
because of the show floor, but who knows?
But that's my disappointment. What about you, Rich?
There's no indie section. Like Undertale's from the show floor is how I know that, and the company that makes it put out their own little thing. That wasn't in the conference, so
Yep, and they usually do a little bit of something indie, and they didn't.
yeah,
You're right.
It was actually kind of bothersome, especially as I was on that train of you're doing all the stuff that I used to say. That's why Microsoft is so innovative, and this year you kind of scale back a little bit, but you're still on the right path. So.
And Mo, I want to know what you think about this. Destiny 2, all those exclusives for the PS4 of Destiny 2. They have an exclusive strike, exclusive gear, other exclusives for the.
They were doing it for Destiny 1 already. I don't know where to go with that, because even the people that are going to be playing Destiny on Xbox, and they're excluded from just these particular
That strike.
strikes. I mean, when they included it in the PlayStation version, just if whoever has an Xbox, there was 2 or 3 exclusive strikes for the PlayStation on the first Destiny, and they were tied in with the story. So I felt like those people missed out on that.
Yeah, because we didn't get story on Xbox.
Or like the third iteration of the actual DLC,
Yeah.
they started including storyline play like strikes. So stuff that had to do with the actual world, and so that kind of bums me out. Like I feel that those type of strikes should be available to everybody, and that's just me being
Well,
fair.
you're already on the fence about Destiny anyway.
Yeah,
So.
so it just I understand that if you're a PlayStation player, that's a way to get you to sell PlayStation systems. But if it's a strike and it does connect to the story, that should already be in the game for everyone, not just.
So do you think that's a game changer with all those exclusives that they?
I mean, it's a disappointment for me, but yeah, I mean, that can get people.
You really got the benefits from it. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get benefits from it, but I like to see both sides of the spectrum. Like.
And that's where I go with Sony. Like, oh, you don't have very much first-party exclusives, but I think they're counting Destiny 2 as
Somewhat, yeah.
a somewhat PlayStation
It's an
exclusive.
advantage.
Especially if it expands your game like that then you're missing out
And
on.
probably the install based on the first one.
You're basically missing out on a whole 30 minutes of an hour strike for, if you don't have if you're going Xbox. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
And then Call of Duty 2 is going to have map packs exclusive to PlayStation, like first 30 days, more than likely. But they just had a trailer. I was very surprised they didn't have someone actually go on stage like they usually do. They just showed that trailer and next.
That was it, yeah.
I would like to say this. I'm actually impressed
With
Call of Duty. And I would never say that. Like, I was impressed with the first and second game. This game looks very different.
But that's been more of the same for a while, yeah.
Yeah, it looks very different. And even Heather was like, this doesn't look like Call of Duty. I'm like, this was what Call of Duty was
Used to be,
like a long time ago. And
yes,
and she goes,
before they lost their identity.
She even told me this looks different. And she hates Call of Duty. She hates it completely. But she watched the trailer and she was like, wow, this is impressive. This is different. It looks, are you going to get this? And I go, I need more. I'll have to see it, So
And what about... Oh, thank you.
Sorry, I saw the cord being
playing
pulled.
around.
I was like, oh.
And I did not play this because I did not have a PS2, but I think it got remastered in PS3. Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay.
It looked good.
Were you excited?
Look good. We've already played
You
it.
didn't cream in your pants like
I'll
some
buy
people.
it. I'll tell you that much.
It's good for people who didn't understand that originally. Like, that'd be a day one pickup for you, I think.
I've
Like, I
never
think people would
played
like
it before.
It's very
I've heard
good, very innovative.
all-time classic.
It's beautiful, but I've
When-
already been through that journey.
when nobody's ever who hasn't played that game.
Yeah.
Me.
Exactly. That's
I don't know what it's about.
What
I just know there's 16 colossi. And that's
and
it.
their shadow.
What do you think is the premise of the game? Do you just fight bosses and that's it?
I've just heard I know there's a girl in there somewhere. I don't know if she's dying or dead or something's up.
Beauty kind of thing.
Yeah. That you have to kill these 16 colossi to save her.
Okay.
In some way, shape, or form.
So you know the storyline, but some of the storyline. But a lot of people think, oh, it's just boss fights. That's it. There's more to that game than that. There's this actual storyline.
Because that's all it is those 16 creatures in the
It's the
entire...
easiest way to sell people on it, but there's so much other stuff that's kind of going on. But it's not spoon fed to you. It's not. They don't look to the camera and do those marketing speeches. So.
And it makes you want to go out to that world to discover what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
Like it's open world, and you have choices to make. You know where to go and what to do first. That's based on what to do until you get used to the mechanics. I want to play the HD remake. I'm the person that will buy into it, and I still have the PlayStation 2 version and my PlayStation 2. I can go in there and play it anytime I want. But this looks really polished and good. I want to see the HD.
I forgot about that on my disappointments. That's a good point because it does look beautiful. But that was one of my disappointments when I was thinking about it earlier, is how they were saying backwards compatibility is not a focus for them. They're the kings of remastering shit. And I know it's not quite the same as backwards compatibility, but it's one of those, our past is a legacy, not a burden. We need to carry that
They've
forward.
been doing those remasters.
And that's the problem, though, is that they understand that, but they don't want to implement it where it'd be easy and cheap for most of their customer base. They want to hit you for another $40 or $50 purchase every year.
Yeah.
Which is how I was able to play God of War 1 and 2 before 3, because I didn't have a PS2 at all.
Yeah,
so I had the PS3. I knew God of War 3, like, it looks
and
amazing.
sometimes that's good because they translate it in the second collection. They had the PSP games and stuff, which was a good way to get that stuff in there, or they're doing that with Kingdom Hearts. But then again, another disappointment, they announced another fucking Kingdom Hearts collection of, you just did 2 of these, and now you're doing the same thing, but there's a new cutscene. I don't want to keep buying the same games that are already 10 years old 3 times in 2 years, and I'm still waiting on the third game. That's ridiculous.
But
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I mean, that's a keynote for a lot of people too. But then again, when it comes down to getting these games, when are they going to play them? Like they want to see something new. A lot of I feel like a lot of gamers complain about having backwards compatibility and all this, but they don't even use it.
They were saying. Yeah.
So I mean, like I don't want to be like the.
But see, here's where I would argue, because we know how much of a system seller and how much of a point of contention and stuff the NES Classic was. That was exactly what we're kind of advocating.
PS1 Classic.
Except that was a brand new purchase. That wasn't him just being able to access the stuff he's already paid for.
Yeah. But the Shadow of the Colossus HD just looks a little bit more way polished than what it was.
No, but I'm an advocate of, if I purchase the thing and I own it outright, and we can get into secondary sources, pawn shops, GameStop, that kind of thing. Yeah. But let's say I buy it digitally off the PlayStation or the Microsoft Store. I should own that, and just because I can't go out and buy the hardware anymore doesn't mean that, hey, I should be able to play Pilot Wings from the 64 even though I don't have it. But if I have the Virtual Console, I put in my gamer tag and it goes, yep, you showed that you had bought it. Here's your proof of purchase. So
that's
download it for free or get it for $2.
That's why one of the reasons why I applauded Bethesda for when they released the Skyrim HD. They did it for free for anybody who already had the game, and they can see in their system.
Well, on Steam,
but because
they can
see where
they
your
can see
money
the purchase. They can see your purchase. Like, oh, you purchased this. Okay, here you go. And it was already the pre-download was already ready for me. So, as far as that goes, that's a different duration. But yeah.
And do you think it's a problem that these are the only exclusives that I know? Is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, August 22nd. Horizon Zero Dawn, the Frozen Wilds, is also at the end of this year, which, if you have not played Horizon Zero Dawn, and if you have a PlayStation, fucking buy it.
Yeah.
Go get it. I think that's the only main exclusives that I know for the year. Gran Turismo, they did announce, not on the press conference, but on the show floor, they did announce it's going to happen this fall as a racing game.
So for Sega, even though it's Sega, they did announce Yakuza, the very first remake of HD for the first game, because it ties into the next one that they're bringing out. That releases this year in October. Yakuza, so it's the very first Yakuza being remade with the new graphics that Sega's working
but
with.
But also number 6.
What was
Number-
Zero?
Yeah.
Would that come out this year?
Zero was the
Yeah.
prequel. Yeah, that came out this year. So Yakuza 1, the very first game
Was
that
Persona
they
5 Sega?
Yes, Sega Atlas, yeah. So Sega's releasing the very first game HD remade for everybody who didn't play it back on PlayStation 2 to tie in with number 6 that comes out next year. So that releases this
I
year.
bet you they'll do the same with Persona. Put at least 3 and 4 on.
Yeah, and they could do that just because those games were, it's been, they have years. So they got like 5 to 6 years apart from
Doesn't
each
matter.
game.
If you charge $30 or $40, and you're like, hey, guess what? Here's 200 hours of content.
Yeah, as an actual like
Pay 40
collection and
bucks.
everything, yes. And also Sega did announce that for Yakuza the first game, they're adding some add-ons that they did not include in the first game because they thought it was too controversial. And since they got pushed for it, you're getting all that content too. As far as release go, we did get that announcement from Sega. I think it was today actually that they announced what they were releasing for the actual time. So Sega's doing some smart things. They're not releasing everything. They're doing the show floor thing and just announcing games as they come. So Yakuza was their first one because they want to release 6 for next year, early next year, and the first game I think it was November, I think release date for that. So that's the only exclusives that I know of.
And Rich, do you see a problem with that release schedule that Sony has?
No, it makes sense. I like the year-round.
I
And
do
it's
as
like
well.
that.
Once
And
I was
that's-
able to take a step back and stop being so fucking old school.
And it's because of this marketing, and because they
Yeah.
are all into the holiday sales. But
Yeah.
you forget that your market is usually people with a lot of free time. So that is a lot of times it's younger people or students because they don't have a 9 to 5. They have very segments, weekends off kind of thing. It makes sense to cater towards those people. And guess what? In the summer, they don't have shit to do. In the middle of spring, they don't have a lot to do, or if they do, they're probably not gamers anyways. They're already, they're getting drunk on the beach. They're not always the biggest gamers.
It's a rough life. So I'm okay. They have the exclusives, and it gives me a little break as well for the other companies that does have, those fall games. And that's fine. I'll play God of War in March. I'm okay.
I'm down
I'll be
with
playing
that
an
too.
incredible game.
Well, and it goes,
Horizon that came out in February.
You've got a point about the mind share thing. If you don't want everybody piled up, but just because you put, I got 3 titles in this last week of October, and then the first week of November I only have 2. To me, that's 5 in the same 2-week period.
Yeah.
That you're doing that, and when they align it like that, that's bad. But all of a sudden, you put Far Cry in February and God of War in March, and then every month you got a AAA level title that's coming. It doesn't overwhelm your pocketbook. It gives you something to do, and it gives you space so that you're not always backlogged with 15
And
titles.
actually enjoy the game. Like Horizon, I'm going to actually sit back and... Because Zelda, I rushed through Breath of the Wild just to get to fucking Mass Effect.
Unless you hate that.
Yeah, right.
But I get to go back. I was waiting for the DLC. I'll get into that in the next, as I get back into it with the DLC. We'll see about that. But that's the Sony. What about, we'll end on this. Are you disappointed at all about Last of Us 2 was not shown?
No.
Not at all.
Because they fucking ended with Spider-Man was great. And I love with the PSX, they're making that more of a big deal.
Yeah.
As in not, it's still secondary, but I guess we can talk about Raw and SmackDown with wrestling terms. As in, the Raw is the E3, PSX is the SmackDown,
Yeah.
and they try and bring the
But
talent.
all of a sudden,
over
you start
SmackDown.
watching SmackDown Live, and
Yeah,
it's programmed better, and they got more focus, and they're not throwing a bunch of garbage, and it's shorter, it's tighter, it's more focused.
And you own the news story. You own December. You have your PlayStation fans join you and play on the floor. Because I went to the first one that was here in Las Vegas, and be with those players. You have that hour-and-a-half press conference. They showed Uncharted 4 at the press conference I went to. Last year they did Last of Us 2. And I love your idea of Days Gone. Have a release date, because make PSX something that we need to see. And they did VR as well. They showed more titles.
I feel like since Bloodborne wasn't shown, I could see that being over there too.
Yeah,
because I thought Bloodborne was going to be shown. Yeah. You know, it was one of my big thoughts. I thought they were going to release it, but you know, it's okay. That's fine. What they gave me was enough. I felt. It
was a fantastic press conference, like last year.
Stay the course.
Stay the course. So that's our reactions to the Sony press conference. Please let us know in the comments below what your reactions were to the conference. So the next company that we will talk about is Nintendo Spotlight, which was the last happened Tuesday morning. 25-minute little video of what titles are coming out. So the one thing that stood out to me, obviously, is a title. You didn't need to just have the music. A title, Metroid Prime 4.
Oh, they're going to say Yoshi.
Yoshi and Kirby. There we go. But Metroid Prime 4 stood out to me. We'll see. It's a new development, so learn more about it. It's a new development team. It's not the same team that did the Metroid Prime trilogy. So I'm kind of intrigued more about it. In the trilogy, they did great in the trilogy, but let's get a new development team and see what they'll do with Metroid Prime 4. Well, that's more of a cop-out. They announced Metroid Prime 4, but predictions in the last 5 years has been Metroid Prime 4. We're going to be right one of these years. So my one is the actual gameplay of Super Mario Odyssey. And release date of October 27th. Which is now the third major title coming out on that same date. We have Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, Assassin's Creed Origins, and Super Mario Odyssey on October 27th. All 3 games that I would want to play and love to play. Super Mario Odyssey, the reason why it got my attention was the cap. Throwing the cap, you gain control of the object that the cap is on, either if it's a taxi, supposedly, or a rocket, or fish.
Or, one of the enemies.
One of the enemies as the gameplay, I think, is going to be fascinating with that. And after the Spotlight, they actually showed the treehouse that Mo loves so much. And they actually had a large gameplay of Odyssey in the city, of what you can do. And I cannot wait. So that is something I got really excited for with Super Mario Odyssey that stood out to me. Did any of you guys have were you able to read or see what was announced for the Nintendo Spotlight?
Oh, I saw the full Spotlight. Yeah, I saw it all.
Watch the highlights.
Yeah.
It's 25 minutes.
Yeah, it's not a lot to go off of, but they had titles that I was saying previously, like a few episodes back, that I want to see Fire Emblem. They announced Fire Emblem Warriors. They didn't show like the correct gameplay for it, but I know it's an action title that is a hack and slash, kind of like Dynasty Warriors. It has the same thing, just like they did with Zelda in the previous titles, and those were good games. They sold great. They had the action that people were expecting from, and to be able to choose your favorite hero and go in there and fuck shit up. Yeah, I'm down. Okay, I was not expecting Kirby. That is a day one for me, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah. You're
a big Kirby fan?
I am a big Kirby fan, for those who don't know.
I
am a hardcore gamer, regardless of the games that I play, but it's just as these guys are as well. But
I heard Kirby sucks.
But he does.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
Kirby.
But I've been a Kirby fan since I have the first game on Nintendo. I have the very first
I
one.
played it on the NES Classic for the first time.
That was my favorite one.
Was Kirby.
It's a hell of an adventure. Kirby's
Didn't it start on Game Boy, though? And then it went over to NES?
I do not remember, but
I think I remember.
I played both. I had both, actually.
It's like Kirby's Dreamland 1
Dreamland,
and 2, and then it was on NES.
Yeah, but I had the first one on Game Boy, believe it or not, and I also actually had the first one on the NES. This is one of my 2 favorite games, and after seeing the 4-player co-op and actually fighting bosses, and you get different powers as all, and how they
So you and Heather would be playing some Kirby?
That is a day one for us.
Wow.
Day one. Nintendo, you bought me with that. I'm happy with that. That's going to be one of my purchases. I didn't know if you guys expected me to say that.
No, I was not.
I kind of kept it kind of under wraps, but yeah, I'm a big Kirby fan. I'm happy. I'm excited.
Kirby fan closet, all right? A closet Kirby fan.
Yeah.
One thing that that actually came out to me was Yoshi. Kirby, I played on the NES, but I never really got involved with Kirby. But Yoshi, I'm a big fan of Paper Mario on the Wii. And the way they incorporated the 2D and 3D of how you can change a perspective of it and the puzzles that you solved with it, I thought was incredible and I loved. And I kind of saw that with Yoshi, of how you can switch to the other side of the map and you go vice versa.
Yeah.
If they incorporate that more, I don't think that would be the main gameplay that they'll incorporate. But if they have a lot of that and more innovative on the platformer part, I might be, but still a little not sure, not bought in yet with Yoshi and Kirby for 2018. But great first party titles to get that all involved. And Rich, what's stood out to you?
Seem to be doing everything right. They didn't waste everybody's time. Wasn't a lot of talking. They were announcing games, even though I would prefer that we saw some gameplay. They did confirm Metroid Prime 4. They said they're working on a Pokemon game. Announced Fire Emblem. They gave us a date for Mario Odyssey, which is the next big release. So that's kind of what I expect someone to do with one of these. They did it. I can't be mad at that. They were doing what they need to do. Maybe it's not what I'm interested in, but I'll be honest. I'd probably play that Mario game if I owned a Switch. It's not enough for me to buy a Switch, but I think maybe they were trying to troll some of the fanboys online, and maybe we'll see Jumpman show up as Mario's dad, and it looked like Pauline was there. It looks like Bowser's going to try to marry Princess Toadstool, Peach.
Troll in what way? So what are you trying to say?
Because there's a lot of people online. One of my big things, I know you like this theory. Is
I love your theories.
Okay, so the story in the Toadstool Kingdom is that the inhabitants were turned into bricks, and then Bowser took advantage of the fact that the citizens in the army were kind of disappeared. That's where he came and kidnapped the princess, and Mario gets involved because he's transported there. But he doesn't know, and he's breaking all the bricks. Well, that's the citizens. They've basically been turned into stone, so he's a genocidal maniac if you think about it. And then there's other people who took that one step further of maybe Peach wants to be with Bowser, and that's why every time Mario shows up, oh, sorry bro, she's not here, is because she's doing is that fucking guy here again? Let's go to the summer house because this guy's following me all over the kingdom.
All these castles.
Yeah, Bowser's got a fucking kid. We don't know who the mother is. The other one's apparently been adopted, but Bowser Jr., we don't know who the mother is.
Think Bowser Jr. came out of Peach's hoo-ha?
That's one of those. Well, remember in that story, he thought that was his mother. Why would he think that? Now, maybe it wasn't, but it's one of those, but you're the lady who fucks my dad, so that makes you my mom, right? And then she has that to talk with him where she's like, no, I'm not your mother. I'm not your actual mother, but I'm like your mother. She's his stepmom. Well, that's not a fucking hostage.
So we got all of that from the Super Mario Odyssey.
So Super Mario Alternate Universe video game coming out to you from Rich, 2018.
Dude, do you guys want to keep talking about this other stuff, or do you want to talk about all the time abnormalities and all the stuff that's going on?
Just saying.
'Cause remember, Yoshi kind of raised baby Mario, and baby Bowser was involved,
right.
and
Super Mario World 2.
Yeah,
Yoshi's Adventure. And Rich, what was your disappointments of the Nintendo Spotlight?
And I know it's important to you, so I'm not trying to put it down, but I don't think a logo's enough. Now maybe I just want to see a character design or something, or I know that I'm not a fan of it, but a lot of people like to hear the creators come out and talk about it. Explain to me what your theory is for why we need a fourth Prime after 10 years. So I'd like to see that. Or tell me what your concept is about why Pokemon on the Switch is going to be different than the 3DS. So that's all. It just seemed like as a missed opportunity. They were doing so many things right, but when you just blatantly tease, you could have said, hey, guess what? I'm going to have a new console. I don't know when, and again, I don't like vague bullshit.
I will actually agree with you on that.
But you're excited because of the IP and
that they're actually finally came out with and say they're designing it. But I think they should have done a 20-second teaser.
Yeah.
Showed Samus. Not a 4. After they showed the 4, I came.
Yeah.
But I wanted to come again. And if they would have showed the 20-second, which they should have, a title, I think that was very cheap.
Yeah. And how drawn out it was, because that was a good 30-second ad.
Yeah. Showing the Metroid Prime 4
for 3 words.
Now in development, or something in development for the Switch.
Yeah.
They could have easily made a 20-second little teaser of showing Samus.
Having the spinball, she rolls up there and stands up, and then she's at ready, and you're like, Metroid Prime 4. Yeah. Boom, you would have been like, that's what I needed.
And then out it came a second time. But it was cheap. Yeah. I'll admit that. That is double-edged sword, yay, great Metroid Prime 4, but anyone can do that and just put a fucking title on a screen.
Yeah.
Elder Scrolls 6. Okay, cool, fantastic. Awesome. What does that mean? I get that. Yeah. What about you, Mo?
Mine was actually not that. I do feel you guys are coming from that. But mine was actually the Zelda segment. The fucking DLC bullshit that you guys are putting out for that. I'm sorry, it's bullshit. Hardcore mode should already be in the fucking game. This shit that you're selling, you get a Zelda t-shirt or whatever, the same shit that you're pushing, bullshit. And I don't mind that people like to buy amiibos. That's cool, I'll mark it. But that second character pack, what the fuck are they for? You didn't explain anything that has to do with that DLC. What's the explanation on that? Do I have to watch Treehouse? Because I ain't watching no goddamn Treehouse, I'll tell you that much. I'll burn that bitch down. I'll burn it down. I promise you. Nintendo. That's the only thing that pissed me off. Other than that, I'm okay.
That is actually my disappointment.
Is it?
Is the Legend of Zelda DLC. And so my strategy was to beat Breath of the Wild as quick as possible, which I did. Mm-hmm. I got the Master Sword, so you need a certain amount of hearts to get the Master Sword. I'm not going to say how many, but just give you an idea. Yeah. You have to have a certain amount of hearts before you even allowed to pull up the Master Sword, or you die trying to take it out. So I got the minimum amount of hearts to get the Master Sword and beat the game. So I killed Ganon. I was going to go back. I was going to wait for the DLC because they're going to add more story. Like, all right, I'm going to take a break, try and beat Mass Effect, and then I'm going to get back into Breath of the Wild, get all the shrines because I want to collect all the shrines, and then do some of the DLC. I was disappointed. Yeah, I was not impressed. I know June 30th, fantastic Master Trials DLC. It didn't look, but the pass was very inexpensive. It wasn't very much for the. Was it $20?
Yeah, but a bargain on crap you don't want to pay for in the first place is not a bargain.
It doesn't make it right.
Yeah.
I won't even pay $20.
It's not an extensive, huge build up to the game. Like, there's nothing except for a few key items, and then I don't know what the second character thing. Why did they announce that? And they showed off, some of the characters. Do you get to play as them? Do you what is?
It'll be in a direct. It said Holiday. Is the Champions Ballad DLC?
Yeah, but what does that mean? What does it do?
Yeah, direct
why
in
would
September.
you announce that now?
Direct.
Why?
Because when you get those come holiday, they're going to have silver cars where they're based on actual models that are available in the real world. So it'll be it's a good marketing opportunity.
The one thing that pissed me off even beyond that is like, in each one of these characters is an amiibo, but they could be in game, but we don't know what the fuck they do. Well, they do, but they won't tell us. I mean,
they're only $12.99. What's the big deal?
Yeah, $12.99 each. That's what, out of 5? 4?
4 of them.
Yeah,
the 4 champions.
Oh, there you go. $12.99 each. Go ahead, you guys go get them because I ain't paying that shit.
$60. That's good. That's like another game.
You get a treasure chest in game, and it gives you what, like a fucking.
Well, and 2 of them are going to be hard to find unless you go like black market sources, eBay, that kind of stuff. So now to get all 4 of them, it's going to cost you $150.
This doesn't make it right. Nintendo is new to DLC. It doesn't make it okay or right. But it is. I'm disappointed.
They're only new to DLC because they've been stubborn about implementing it.
Because they're 10 years behind the times.
Yeah. And because they keep re-releasing the same game just on multiple holiday-only editions and shit like that. That
was my biggest gripe and my disappointment was that.
That was a letdown. For such a great game that Breath of the Wild is.
Yeah, just.
And the follow-up.
You could incorporate so much more to that game than what that is right there.
So it's not going to get
me back. I don't even know what it is for the second
the shrines.
Characters.
Can I use my Mii in there? I don't understand. I'm still behind.
Same thing with Zelda, Metroid Prime 4. Just give me a trailer, not even a teaser. Just so Samus, very easy. Just have her fucking roll up.
Yeah.
Take her fucking helmet off or some bullshit.
Yeah. But just do a modern graphics of that ending scene where she takes the helmet off and you're like, oh my god, it was a chick the whole time. I had no idea.
The one thing I'm very impressed with Nintendo is their 2017 slate. is what they came out with the Spotlight. As in Holiday, they have Rocket League and Xenoblade Chronicles 2. And 2017 releases, they Fire Emblem Warriors and Skyrim. So those are confirmed for 2000.
So 2 of them are already available. Skyrim and Rocket League.
Yeah.
They're just ports.
No,
I think Rocket League would be great.
They
Can be. It's
potential
been available for 3 years now.
I want to see how they're going to price that. Because if they do the same shit that they priced the indie game for like almost $40 to $60, it's going to be bullshit. Because that game does not cost them. I got it for free on PlayStation, by the way, just so everybody knows. Yes.
I got so many marketing deals.
Free. Okay. That was free.
Even WWE's advertising with them now.
Yeah. So, hopefully, if they price it reasonable, they can make a killing in that. As far as Rocket League goes, they can make a killing in that sales there. But they have to price it reasonable, like an actual indie. So.
Would you buy Skyrim again?
VR.
But I mean this one.
I wouldn't. If there was no PSVR, I would not buy a Skyrim on this. I'm glad to give the people who didn't, again, if someone who's only been Nintendo, to have that
how you want to
opportunity
experience that world though?
on the go. I would be intrigued. Is this something I would want? No, I would want it on my PS4 and Xbox One for that.
Yeah.
But if Nintendo's your only console, it's a great opportunity. But is that the ideal way? Absolutely not. No.
Not at all. There's just too much mod support now for that game, especially on PC,
Even if
Xbox.
mods didn't exist, is that the type of game for the Switch? That's my argument.
I
It's
feel
not the right system.
it's not. But
Like I'm not trying to denigrate it, but it's a speak and spell.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a kid's item. I don't want to play Grand Theft Auto on a fucking Switch. I just don't. Whether GTA Online exists or not, that I don't want to see Trevor run around in his fucking boxers from the cops on a tiny screen. Even if I plug it in my TV, that's not the way to experience it.
But to give a younger crowd, like that kid that might not have an Xbox One, to get
younger
the
crowd shouldn't
opportunity.
be decapitating people in fucking caves and shit in Skyrim.
I think they need to market towards gamers, and that's all I'm going to say. I don't care what the demographic of. I understand that kids will buy it, but that's something that falls back onto the parents' responsibility. That's not my responsibility that they can't fucking play those games.
Yeah.
I'm going to play something. I want to hack and slash. I want to kill Pokemon. That's what. Going back to the dark side. But that's what I want to do. And like I said, I think it's Pokemon's just not for me. That's it.
But the one thing I asked is to have a first-party title every month. That's what they've been doing. Is every month they have that big first-party title, if you consider big, but that caters to a diverse crowd. And 2018 they announced 3 titles. Usually Nintendo only focuses on that year. They only focus on the year, so I thank you for spreading the love. They did Yoshi and Kirby 2018, Metroid Prime 4. Who the fuck knows when that will be
2023.
completed. Yeah, around there. For the next Nintendo system, for the Wii 3. They go back to the name. Like, it's going to be successful. We got this.
No, it's all tied in with the relief effort in Africa. It's the Wii U too.
Ooh, there we go. Wii U too. And Treehouse. They announced Metroid Samus Returns. A reimagining of Metroid 2. Coming out September 15th on the 3DS.
Can they make a new game?
So they did that. They did Metroid Zero Mission, which was sort of a remake of the first game, which I never beat the first one, but I beat it on the was it the Game Boy? No, it was, the Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
I haven't.
Yeah, the Metroid Zero Mission, Metroid Fusion. So I beat. So this on 3DS. They did Samus Returns September 15th on the 3DS. So that is not. And they, Rich, like you said, that RPG. I know last week I said I would go ballistic if the half-hour rumor was correct. And
they shortened it.
Walk it back. Yeah, walk it back now.
5 minutes. And
It was used effectively.
It was used effectively.
it was used effectively, but they have the directs.
Yeah.
They have the directs that they do throughout the
But
year
that-
to announce
that-
what will happen in 2018.
But that makes the other argument, which is E3 is not important. It's only because we think it is. It's
Well-
that nostalgia thing.
What hasn't been important to Nintendo last 4 years when they pulled
Exactly. So why did they even do a direct?
Which makes
if they would
to
have waited
join
1 or
in.
2 weeks and done what they did this week, then they would completely own the news cycle, right?
which makes me think: are they focusing on TGS then? Because based off of being based off of Japan, Because Sony does big in TGS, and so does Sega.
Yeah, I think that
They'll
they
bring-
understand that you don't need that stuff anymore.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But
There's a reason why
There's-
Comic-Con is dying off. Why the what is it, the freaking Consumer Electronics Show?
yeah, CES.
Why it's dying off.
Yeah, it's these big, huge game shows, and then the other ones people don't really like look into them, like the PlayStation.
Because it's
one
not
and
effective
December.
marketing. The only thing that's effective is a team building exercise or an expenditure when like the diamond trade thing comes here, and it's all those expensive dinners that are schmoozing with all your little clientele or your wannabe supply chain. But when it comes to actually, innovating your industry, you don't do that shit that week. That's a vacation in Vegas. That's all that is. And that's what this is. This is a vacation in LA. Just like Comic-Con, it's a vacation in San Diego.
But I am very concerned for 2018 for the Switch. I don't know what I'm going to buy after Mario. I have no idea. I know they have the next 6 months to have a direct and say what's going to come out in January, February, and March. But what they've done so far in 2017, I trust Nintendo right now, but it's very little
1.5 games.
because of the Wii U.
Yeah.
I don't have that full trust because I know how bad they fucked up the Wii U, and I bought 2 games a year. And Star Fox was terrible.
Yeah.
So great, I bought Super Mario Maker and Star Fox. It was I think my last 2 games I bought on the Wii U, the last 2 big games. And I just don't want that to be the Switch. And right now, I don't know. After Mario, I have no idea what I'm going to buy, but they have some time to announce on the Direct. Focus on 2017. It looks good for this year. But
So with Zelda, that
So-
DLC, does that not make you kind of pause that this is their thinking of how they're going to roll things out? This is their priority? To me, that's more of the red flags that I'm seeing. To you, you're like, but fuck that DLC, but the next one will be okay.
next DLC? Oh, no, I don't have any faith in that DLC.
Your next title or whatever. See, to me, it's they're doing that, and this is their precursor. But they're going to continue that. Like the Mario Kart, I don't count that, but they released the same stuff.
So we got like pretty much 4 games, because when does Raging Rabbids come out?
August 29th.
So August 29th. So you got Splatoon, you got
In
Zelda.
July. No, they got...
Zelda already released, but they got Zelda, you got...
Oh, no, their main title is ARMS in June.
Right.
That's their
but
first party.
I don't count that, I'm sorry.
I don't think anybody does. I think that's...
I see Splatoon being a bigger...
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, like
No,
that's
absolutely.
a massive
That's
hit.
July.
And I'm even looking to purchase that, because what I saw on the actual Direct was the gameplay and how they're the superpower, like, become, what do they call it? Becoming squid, or what is it?
It's a squid, yeah.
It's squid. So it looked interesting to me, and for the competitive play, I'm in. So they got that they got the Mario Rabbids, and that doesn't cater to everybody, but it caters to me.
Yeah.
So I see 4 games being released, and one is third party.
No, and then
so-
17 is in September. They have the Pokken tournament,
Okay,
which
the
is
Pokken
a
tournament.
Wii U for the
and
Pokemon.
it's a fighter. And it's a
Yeah,
fighter, isn't it?
it's a
It doesn't
Pokemon
cater to me,
fighter.
but some people are
And
interested.
then October they have Mario. November I would probably say Xenoblade or Fire Emblem in November. So 2017.
So
I just don't want them to blow their wad.
no, but I mean,
Early.
it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
There's so much time to give them a chance that we still got plenty
Yeah.
more shows. Some people will pay attention to that. Some people will not. We'll bring it to them. I always look at the news and go searching for all that stuff, especially on these Tokyo Game Show conferences. Also, the Euro conference, the All Europe conference. They show a lot of good stuff there
East and
too.
West,
Yeah, past East and West. That there's plenty of stuff to come. So we'll see how they keep developing, and
Correct.
hopefully they keep their head in the fucking game and out of their ass, and that's what we can
And be humble.
be humble.
Eat their humble pie.
Because they did humble at Ubisoft. Let's expect more of that. Like, that's all I can say, on that.
So those are our reactions to the Nintendo Spotlight. Please let us know in the comments below what you felt of the Spotlight. So we just spoke about our gamer reactions to all the press conferences and the Nintendo Spotlight. Now it's time for us to pick who we felt won E3 with their press conference. And that's overall. So whatever you think that means to you of who won. Starting with you, Mo. Who do you feel won out of the 5 press conferences and the Spotlight?
I felt it was a tie between Sony and Nintendo.
Why is that?
I see a lot of... I see what Sony's doing with their games and what they're bringing out. I'm excited for the future and exclusives that sells to me. I'm excited of the new storylines I'm going to be playing. Nintendo actually gave me something to buy, you know, so that's
rather than Zelda. That's all you and Bomberman.
And Bomberman.
That's all you've had.
That's all I got.
And 6 possible titles in the next 2 years.
Yeah, exactly. Six. You know,
Possible.
but they're
Theoretical
bringing
advice.
some titles out this year, and I wanted to play those. I want to play. I'm sorry to say it, but I am excited for Kirby. I'll play. You know, I'm down. I feel like they had more to showcase. I was expecting more from Xbox, but they're not completely exclusives. You know, so
It said world exclusive.
world
You can point it
exclusive.
out.
World.
Yes.
World exclusive.
Yes. What the fuck does that mean?
Oh, that's why. Because it's available on Mars. That's why.
Oh shit.
This world it's exclusive.
Oh
but
shit. So you know.
So your winner is Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah, it's a tie between.
Tie for Sony and Nintendo.
That's it, man. I gotta go for it.
And Rich, who
Being bold, choosing one.
yeah, being bold.
Sony.
I think the whole
if it was
industry
gonna,
won.
if it came down to one, of course it's gonna be Sony. Just because
Sony.
you know, there's some exclusives on the show floor that I heard, and my money's going to them. So, they already have that third party support. They win for that, but I see Nintendo also diving into that third party or beginning to, and they were humble
That they've
enough.
lost the last 10
Yeah.
years.
But they were humble enough to say it, at least a little bit. So
Well, when you have no friends, you have to admit that you're a loner.
stop burning bridges.
No.
So
Rich, who do you feel won E3?
Xbox. But not in the way you think. I think that they won it for Sony. So it's like when you're playing soccer or football and you're making a drive and you kick really hard from maybe midfield, you bounce it off one of your own teammates' heads and it goes in your own goal. That's Microsoft this year. Good job. Good job.
not expecting that.
Yeah. Because listen, Sony did the same thing they've been doing. They stayed the course. They didn't blow us away, but they certainly didn't let us down. They did what they've been doing. They've been consistent. They've been good. Nintendo was on point, but I don't think there's enough content there for me to really give it to them.
Right.
Microsoft was the one who had the game changer, and they fell flat on their fucking face. And they still won't admit to it when you're... Again, I love Ryan McCaffrey, but that's the perfect example of he's the Xbox guy, and he says, I don't know who this is for. And Microsoft doesn't have an answer for them either. And look at the press conference. The most they did was looks best on. They didn't even convince you why you need this as opposed to the S or the original Xbox One. They fell on their own sword. They scored a goal on themselves. It was stupid. So
Was totally not expecting that.
good job, Phil Spencer. He got a participation trophy.
But you got a win, though. Xbox got a vote for it as a win.
I'm not the Xbox guy. I'm the guy who is currently subscribed to that, but as I said, I'm a Xbox X now because he's clearly said he doesn't want my business either.
There's an E in front of the X,
Aw.
and it doesn't stand for example.
Rich, are you guys going to have some breakup sex?
No.
No breakup sex?
No.
With you and the
No,
Xbox?
but I'm going to bang her neighbor. Called Sony, and I'm going to send pictures. Phil Spencer's Facebook status is going to be, it's complicated. I mean, like, it's not complicated. I'm banging your rival. Jack Trenton's tickling the balls.
Oh my god.
He didn't even work there anymore. I don't know why I'm fucking throwing him under the bus. Because I don't remember the guy that played the Mr. Sony or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a funny character. But.
The commercials.
Wow.
All right, I have to follow that.
Yeah, that's pretty
Wow,
tough.
all right. Should have saved that for last. The winner of E3, I think, is very clear who won, and it was Sony. Is the clear-cut winner. Same as last year, it was clear-cut. I think they have it down, how you do a press conference. Ubisoft would have been my number one if they would have got that shit together. Like, there was
If their number one title was actually viewable in their conference.
if there was some holes in that conference, but they had the titles, they had the potential to
They
win.
were kind of rushed. They only had 2 years to plan for that presentation.
Yeah.
So.
2 years. But Sony with the third party, I know they have that third party with the exclusives, and they have those first party titles that are just wow experiences.
And they're doing it right, and they were proving it again.
And even for their DLC content, they showed what the fuck they're doing. Like, They had the DLC content for the Uncharted, which is
Yep.
not really a DLC. It's kind of a standalone.
It's more of a standalone.
It's standalone game, and they showed some of that gameplay, and then they showed Horizon for that DLC, which extends the story even further.
Yep.
That's the stuff that people want to see. Why am I purchasing this?
And why Destiny 2? They went in, no matter what you think, if it's too much exclusives of Sony, they said, we're going on, this is why you should actually get Destiny 2 on the PlayStation, the best way to play. And ending with Spider-Man. That might be the demo of the E3.
Yeah, that was something that I felt like that was something that nobody was expecting. The way that they showed the gameplay on that game.
Because right now it was Anthem. For me, I loved, again, how it looked, how you did for 10 minutes. I don't know how that's going to translate to a full game, but Anthem, but after Spider-Man, like, hands down, that was incredible. Like, I wanted to watch it again right after. Like, there's some shit that I missed that I need to see. I was just looking all over the screen. And Sony, whatever you say about exclusive 2017, they do have those exclusives with the DLC, with the big titles that they do have. Yeah. Uncharted and Horizon. Horizon's a brand name. It's starting to become with how it's getting Steam since February. 3.4 million sold of Horizon.
Yeah, it's a pretty big number.
And Nintendo, I'm with you, Rich. It was a tight 25 minutes, but not enough content to even compete with what Sony brought. No. And Nintendo set the bar low for so long the last few years that I'm not going to give Nintendo credit just because you set the bar so low and holy shit, you didn't.
Yeah, you stepped over it.
Yeah, you stepped over the bar. It does not give you the right. And again, I love my Switch. I love Nintendo, but their E3 showing, they've shown like they don't really care much. Yeah. But they do their directs throughout their E3 is not a big deal. We don't care if we win or lose. We're going to show these titles.
Yeah.
And I wish they would have came up big keep that momentum of the Switch, but 2017 looks great. We'll see the next directs that they have. They have mini PSXs. So in September, October, this is what's coming out the first 6 months of 2018. They'll do that. But in 25 minutes, not enough content to win in 25 minutes.
No.
With that, Microsoft, good luck for the next 5 months of how they're going to market this. And we'll have a discussion about it of who the fuck is this actually for? Xbox One.
What do you think they're going to sell?
I'll tell you this much: it's not for the pro Xbox gamers. You are a gamer, like I said, regardless of whatever system you're playing on.
Well, they already knew they was going to sell less, so it wasn't. They said this is a niche. It's not going to come close to Xbox One S. So what are you doing then?
Yeah.
Do you want to invest all this research, most powerful console, just to be the low end? Oh, okay, we sold a few million.
Hey, they got us all talking. We did how many shows where that was a focus of what's going to be the Scorpio? They got a lot of mind share out of it.
When we talked about 6 teraflops,
which didn't mean
12G DDR5,
it doesn't mean anything.
All these numbers.
It came back to that where what the fuck am I going to play on this?
Yeah,
exactly.
They didn't sell
a nice car that goes 0 to 100 in 2 seconds, but you are only allowed to go 45 in this neighborhood. So sorry. Enjoy.
Or you get a ticket and that costs more than the actual.
Yeah. Exactly.
So on agreement that Sony won E3 and actually Microsoft won it for Sony.
Well, no, I shouldn't.
No.
I put it that way because they fucked up so badly. But it's not like it was a close game. It was Sony was clearly ahead by 5 points. It was like 5-0, and then Microsoft put the nail in the coffin by making sure it was 6-0 with their own shot on their own goal. So.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with this Xbox One X.
See if they fix anything. We'll see.
So those are our, actually not our predictions or reaction. That's who we felt won E3 this year. We all in agreement, unanimous decision of Sony winning E3 20.
And that's world exclusive.
That's
world exclusive.
World exclusive. Yes.
World exclusive. We're having 42 titles. 22 are exclusive in some way. I'm going to count that for Microsoft and see and go back with those numbers and count. Because you're the 42, 42 titles, but 10 of them was on the indie.
Yeah, the indie. Yeah. Okay.
That they showed. But Sony won for us. Let us know in the comments below who you felt won E3 2017. We are at the end of our Gamescast, and this is where we go Balls Deep. This is where we let you know what games we'll be playing all week long. And Mo, what games will we be playing this week?
I actually jumped onto Killing Floor 2 because it was a free download on the PlayStation Plus store. So they gave me that plus whatever items I had. So I've been playing that for a little bit. That's just a side little game I've been playing. My more serious game is Horizon. I'm still in Horizon.
How many hours are you in?
I want to say 40 hours in.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's taking my time from the multiplayer. So that's...
This is multiplayer?
No, on other games.
Oh, I was
Other
like,
games.
fuck, am I missing something?
No.
You're not there yet.
Not there, yeah.
That's a level 12 perk.
So that and still playing Battlefield 1. Jumped back on there. So I give all my games.
Getting ready for the DLC.
Yeah.
Giving all the love for the games.
Yeah.
And Rich, what will you be playing this week?
Still Injustice 2. Red Hood should be coming out probably this week.
What's that?
Oh, he's a Batman character. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
second Robin. So he's being added to the game.
By the
First
way,
of the exclusive fighters.
with him too, I'm playing Injustice 2 because I have to do all my guild stuff. So I don't want to work.
Every day. Gotta grind it out.
Gotta
How many
grind it
trophies
out.
you guys got?
Shit, I don't even know.
57. Boom.
I know he has to yell at my face.
Because I never get to beat you in multiplayer. So the one time I'm like an inch farther, I'm like, in your face, bitch. Take it. Take it all. Call your mom. Tell her I buy you a ring. Because I own that ass.
I'll take it all. I'll take it all day. And
Getting late, I'm
Sony,
getting loopy.
thank you. You had a marketing, as in some of your main titles went $40, including Horizon Zero Dawn. So I picked it up on that first day, went to 40, and holy shit. Probably my favorite first 5 hours in a game in a long time. I still and see if it's able to hold that up to 40 to 50 hours. Mm-hmm. The first hour, a little young, getting the hang, but after that opens up to the first section of the game, it is incredible experience, role-playing, diverse enemies that you never really faced before, and it's unpredictable what moves that they can do. They're attacking, and with the robotic dinosaurs, I guess, with their lights, and you have to make sure you're hiding in the grass or they're gonna fucking destroy you.
Yeah, they act just like animals, which is so crazy. It's just the
Like,
way
they
that...
don't have like X-rays where they can see you in the grass.
Just lights on their...
They just have really bad
They-
eyesight.
They detect by noise and sound. So if you make too much noise, even when you're getting close, well, that's a low level.
Yeah.
You get better at those equivalent skills, but they pay attention. And then the one creepy thing is when you're playing when it's nighttime, and then you run into a pack, and you see their red light, because when they're alert, the red lights show, and they're all staring at you at the same time, and you're like, oh shit, I better start running. Like, I gotta get my ass out of here.
And that's why I like that they're in packs. It's not like too easy where it's just one at a time. No, they are all in packs together.
Yeah.
Well, if you're going to take in one, there's going to be 3 or 4 that might be coming out after you. So it makes it the game challenging. Yeah. So it's not like, oh, I beat one at a time. I get super like, no, they're all in fucking packs, and they're random where they might be.
Yeah.
So I've just been experiencing. I'm just a level 7. I think so. I did like 2 side quests that involved. I did like 3 main quests. I believe it's now going to start to open up in the worlds. It looks like, but no, just 5 hours in. I love it. Again, probably one of my favorite first 5 hours in a long time. Maybe since Shadow of Mordor. With my favorite, Shadow of Mordor is one of my favorite games in the last 5 years. Yeah. And we'll see if Horizon, and it's fresh. I'm not counting Zelda Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild, it was incredible experience, but it took longer for me to appreciate Breath of the Wild to get that. It actually took first 5 hours to get the hang of it. Once you got the hang of it, like, this is fucking amazing. Where Horizon, after the first hour, from hour 2 to 5, incredible. I did not want to put it down. Just want to continue playing. We'll see if it.
The fact that Guerrilla went from Killzone to that that marks, I don't know, I think something different for them, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
See a developer evolve like that. So.
And great new IP. That's what we asked for. A
IP,
new type of title. Again, Sony releasing it in February. So those are the games we'll be playing all week long. And thank you for watching this enhanced edition of our E3. Our
No enhancement necessary.
our Gamescast X episode
World exclusive.
Yeah, a world
World
exclusive.
Yeah.
You probably couldn't see because of all the glare.
Thank you for watching our E3 special episode, and have a great week.